Hello, boys and girls. How are we this evening? Good to see everyone in. Do you know what? This is the first time this has ever happened. Oh, it's gone down by 2 now. I actually was just watching the numbers and I had 101 people watching before I even started. That's never happened before. Back to 102 now. Right. How's everybody doing? First comment of the night. It sets the scene. It's Mazza. What does he say? Good evening, Peter. Hi, Thailand bound. Hi to everybody. No, he says hairy beavers. All right. Okay. Let me just put this up because I don't know who that is. Obviously a foreign name there, but hi to you if you're watching this. Okay, let's go. Right, Ryan Seeger, good evening, Peter and everyone. Can you give Donna, how do I pronounce that? Is it Dulcet? Another shout out as she needs to cheering up. If she needs to cheer up, then tell her to turn me off. She'll definitely cheer up then. And she was impressed when you gave her a shout out before. Is she watching now? Is it a bit early? Donna Dulcet, how you doing? Welcome to the Thailand Bound live stream. A night of mayhem and madness as always. Hope you're all right, Donna. Nice to have a female in the stream. Okay, Ryan Siegel, how are you doing? Hi to Franco as well in the back there. Yeah. Hi, Mike. Good to see you in the live one tonight. Good evening, Peter. Evening all. A great way to end this week with some light-hearted chat and fun. Do you know what? I've got a really difficult decision to make. I wasn't going to talk about this so soon. And you know what? I won't. I'll save it. I'll save it. Let me just put these up while I'm talking. There we go. Right. Okay, Gemini Star. Yeah, I understand that one. Marshall 127. Good day from Australia. How you doing, Marshall? Boohoo. My liver goes into fetal position whenever I get a notification Peter is going live. Don't worry about it, Boohoo. Me and my liver we've had an understanding for years, and I'm all lined up. I got it all set tonight. I'm going to warn you now. I'm smiling when I say this, right? It's not going to be a long one tonight. I mean, I've got to take my daughter to work in the morning. Danish Bacon, how you doing? Gary Russell. Hi, Peter. Have a good one. Thank you. Right. No, we're not going to talk about that tonight, guys. That was something, if you watched the Sunday stream, it was a little bit unfortunate. I don't want to get it going this week. You know, the stream is about getting together, having a good time, having a few beers. I think we both got our knickers in a bit of a twist, and let's just leave it at that, okay? I'm not going to answer any questions on that one this evening. Clive, how you doing? McLaren F1 race. Good to see you, mate. Tripod. Pete, oh really? Put a check in the post for that one. Send me your address and I'll send you a couple £100 for that comment, definitely. Right, Barang. Good evening, Peter and the Monga family. I've got a great Monga minute for you tonight, guys. Really good. Lots of things going on tonight. Oh, I'll tell you what I have got for you later on. I've lost that now. I'll tell you what I have got. You know, people say to me, "Oh, why don't you show us some old photographs from when you were in Thailand?" And I can't. You know, they're all over the place, buried in the back of drawers and stuff, and I don't know where half of them is, but. Saying that, I cleared out my loft this week in anticipation of moving. I did actually get an offer on my house last week. The guy offered me 15 less than I was asking. I did drop 5 grand, but he offered me 15 less than I was asking. Then he come back with another offer, which was 10 less and 5 less. And I said to my wife, no, we've got to get this much. I did drop 5,000, but he's gone. So it's still up for sale. But on the photograph scene, I cleared the loft out and I was going through some old plastic tubs and stuff like that, and I found a few pictures. They were actually from China, but I thought they're quite interesting. And one of them I'm going to turn into a competition because I'm stood in a nightclub with somebody very famous. They were more famous in the 90s. It was a nightclub I was running in Singapore for a little while, and we used to have live acts on. And this woman was very, very famous in the 90s. She's still famous. A lot of hit. Well, I don't want to give too many clues away. I'll put that up later and you can tell me who you think it is. Brian, straight off the back. Thanks, mate. Cases going up. Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Cases going up. Was going to book a flight in a few weeks for September. Looks like hanging on for a bit later. Yeah, they get their knickers in a twist, don't they? I mean, I was listening to LBC this morning and they were interviewing Boris and they were saying to him, what about the numbers? Oh, could we go through lockdowns and all that again? And Boris said, look, the NHS is not under pressure. Just get vaccinated. We're living with it now. It's herd immunity. And, we're not worried about it here. But, you know what they're like over there, though? Well, fingers crossed. Let's not make it depressing, okay? And thanks for the super chat, Brian. Right. Let me just say hello to a couple of new members there. I know I mentioned... why is that not going up now? Hang on. Yeah, that's it. I did mention you, TGC2450, but it was only less than a week. So I'll leave that up there for a minute. Who else we got? Lots of people. Let me just go right up there. Leeds, how you doing? Good to see you in. Javier Lopez. Good evening, Peter and everyone in the live stream. I hope you're well. I'm back in England for my trip to Thailand I'm feeling a bit down at the moment, missing Power every single day. We're all in the same boat. You know, we're all in the same boat. Jabby, grab a couple of beers from the fridge later, a bottle of wine, whatever it is you do. And, you know, we'll get stuck into it later. Right. Angels Cabell, thank you for that. Very kind, as always, every week. Nice super chat there. Do appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Okay. Let's have a look. I've got loads lined up for you tonight, guys. Absolutely loads. Okay. No name. Happy Canada Day from the Canadians and US Independence on Monday. Yeah, we've got something on Monday. I think it's a Queen's Jubilee. So yeah, a good one. Happy Canadian Day. Right. No name. Peter, what's your take on the rogue visa agents in Phuket? Okay, I don't know if you read that story or not. I did read the story. Yeah, so there were a couple of shops in Phuket. They were kind of selling dummy visas. They went out of business. They stole everyone's money. What my view on that is, it's a very isolated thing. It rarely happens now. And I would say the established agents, if you're going to Pattaya, for instance, the established agents in Pattaya that everybody knows, they're genuine. You're going to get a good stamp. Trevor's got a couple of videos about the people he uses, recommendations. It was just, you know, it's like any business, isn't it? You get bad ones, you get good ones, but I wouldn't let it put you off. You know, Phuket, they were rogues, weren't they? And but the police have clamped down very hard. I mean, to be fair to the boys in brown, it's not, you know, they don't take it lightly. And yeah, I shouldn't worry about it too much. But, you know, they did what they did, didn't they? And talking of the boys in brown, I got a nice video for you tonight. It's only about a minute and a half long. Do you remember, was it 2 weeks ago or last week? I think it was 2 weeks ago, where the police have got these long metal sticks like giant toothpicks, and they got some foreigner to stand there with a knife to pretend he was threatening. They got him with these hooks, right? And some people left comments saying, well, you know, he was about his, you know, he was like a limp jellyfish. He didn't do anything. This foreigner just stood there, didn't he, like a lemon? And there were a lot of comments, if that was real life, they'd have never pinned him down. I've actually got a minute and a half long video of a guy who's out of his heads on meths or alcohol or something. He's in some building, hotel, whatever. There's about 8 cops in there, truncheons, the wooden sticks, you know, they're very handy with them. This guy goes berserk, and they've got a couple of these sticks, you know, and they're trying to get in his room. Then he I think, because you don't actually see this bit, but towards the end, I think he tries to smash a window. And this is he's a white guy. I don't know if he's English, American, whatever, but you see him pick up a stool, and he tries to smash this window in this snooker club. All the cops are around him, and then it cuts to the next scene where he's in bandages in the car park, like, so I'll show you that a bit later on. That's quite interesting. Let me say hello to a few more people first. Tripod, how you doing? Pete, yeah, I've read that out already. Thank you for that. James Casey, how you doing, buddy? Hi, Peter and fellow Thailand. Good. Yeah. Good. Richard Song, I must stop saying buddy, it doesn't sound right, does it? Richard Songo, paranoid YouTube attack showed up on my YouTube feed today. Haha, I'm going to have a look at that later on, Richard. I must admit, I didn't actually know you had a YouTube channel. I'm going to have a look at it. Right, Richard, let me put that up there, nice long one there. Richard Meller, is it? Happy Friday to one and all. Things look like they're getting better in the kingdom of smiles. Who wants to walk the markets while wearing a mask? And now we can see the girls smiling back at us. Absolutely. Asif, how are you doing? What are you saying now? Handsome Peter, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Geezers, how you doing? Shout out from North London there. Good evening, Peter. Yeah, I've already done it. I knew what you were going to say. Yeah, okay, nice to see you in. Stringer, how are you? Big Bass 255, how are you? Yeah, I'll put that up with that. That's a definite one. I agree with that one. Right, Motel, hi, Peter, have a good one. Yeah, thank you. Paul Shackleton, what are you saying now? Hi, Peter and all from sun-soaked Weymouth. 120 days until Thailand touchdown. I'm not sure what to do. I was always kind of thinking, you know, I got this little job. It ends in 3 weeks' time from my choice, and I thought, right, as soon as that ends, I'm on a plane, I'm away. But you know, the airports are pretty messed up in the UK at the moment because they don't have the staff. You know, Brexit, a lot of the East Europeans left, and then we had the you know, because people are working from home, I guess a lot of people didn't want to go back to work. So I read an article the other day where they had 40 check-in desks where normally they'd be full, near enough full, people checking in. And there was one member of staff on 40 checkout desks, you know, people waiting an hour and a half for their luggage when they get back into Heathrow. You've seen the queues at Manchester Airport, you know, half a mile long going out of the terminal building. I'm not ready for that at the moment. I know I went through the hoops in December, but I'm not ready for that. I might leave it till kind of, I'll see how it goes. What we're just gone into July, June, July, August. I might probably leave it till mid-August and make a decision, maybe go out September, October. I might be doing a trip with Andrew Hammond where we take a couple of motorcycles from Chiang Mai down to either Pattaya, maybe even go further to Phuket. I don't know. That's still in the planning stages. Damien, hi, how you doing? Oh, right. Let's take your comment off there, Damien, and let's get your weirdo picture in that you sent to me earlier. What do you think of this, guys? Look, what do you think of this? Now that's a bit Anthony Hopkins there, isn't it? Handsome man. No, what it is, Damien messes about. When he first sent me that months and months and months ago, when I'd only met Damien and known him a little bit of time from on here, and he sent me one of those pictures with a mask, and I thought, oh, psycho here. I'm dealing with a psycho. I've got to give this guy the nudge gently, you know. But he's not like that at all. He just puts it on like if he's in a camera or something. So he's not, you know. Maybe he is. I don't know, but I don't think he is. Right. Now I've lost my place. Right. Marshall 127. Good. Did I say hello to you already? Didn't I? Let's get down to some of the newer comments. Right. Paul Shackleton, you were last one, weren't you? Right, so I'll put that comment up there. Let me just talk about the perfect time of the day. Right, so, you know, I put this poll out saying, because I did a stream, you know, the Friday streams are great. And I did you know, a casual, what I call a casual stream on Sunday. This is a non-casual stream. So I've got Ladyboy competition. I've got Spot the Thai Girl competition. I've got I've got all sorts, Joke of the Week, Manga Minute, everything lined up, ready to go tonight. Okay. And on Sunday, I came on and I just talked and had a beer, and it's quite relaxing, actually. And I quite enjoyed it. But I had 440 people in. It kind of went wrong towards the end. You know that story, so we're not getting into it. We're old matey boy. But I kind of enjoyed it. So I put a poll out there, and I said, look, do you guys, let me know when you prefer the stream. I'll just put the result up there. I'm sure you've seen it if you did vote. There was over 300 votes on it. And I basically said, would you rather I did it on a Sunday, a Friday, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock? And that's the results that came back. So as you can see, there's an overwhelming amount of people that want me to change the stream to a Sunday at 7 p.m. Now, there were arguments on both sides. Some people were saying, well, you know, Sunday people are getting ready for work and it's not a great day. Other people were saying Friday's a great day because it's the end of the working week and, you know, we're set up for the weekend. And then people would say, well, you don't want to do it on a Sunday because of the football season starting. You know, and Friday's not a good day because a lot of people go out. So I've had good and bad arguments about both Fridays and Sundays, and I really don't know what to do. I'd even sent a message to Ed Sweeney because I don't want to clash with him. We're friends, right? So I thought, well, he does streams like out of the blue. You know, you're sitting there having your dinner, and Ed's on. You know, get up for a pee at 4 o'clock in the morning. Ed Sweeney's doing a live stream. Not quite. But I wrote to him and I said, look, Ed, here's my new schedule. I don't want to clash. And he was like, yeah, thanks for that. And then I wrote to him and said, no, you know what? I think I'll go back to that. And it's a difficult one. So I think at the moment, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep a check on the numbers. So right now I've got 306 people in. Okay, it might go up, it might go down. So I think what I'll do is on Fridays, I'll keep this going for a little while longer, this one. And then I'll try, I don't want, you know, if you do something too much, people get fed up of you, don't they? So I'm going to try and do one this Sunday again because schools are closed on Monday because of the Jubilee, whatever they do on the Monday. So I'll try and do one on Monday, but it won't be more than kind of an hour and a half maybe. And it'll be very, very casual. And I'll try and do a couple of weeks where I do this on a Friday, one on a Sunday. I'll watch the numbers. And depending on how the numbers go, I'll make a final decision. Because, you know, Sunday for me is a good day because it's the time. You know, when you start a stream at 9 o'clock, and you go on for 3-4 hours because you're having a good time drinking. Everyone's joking about it's kind of manga this, manga that. You know, I enjoy it and it goes on and on. I turn it off and the next morning I'm absolutely, you know, shagged, you know, really tired. The good thing about starting at 7 o'clock is even if you go on for sort of 2-3 hours, you know, you can get to bed at a reasonable time, have a good night's sleep. So Sundays, I'm kind of favoring at the moment, but I don't, let's see, let's leave it at that for now. And I'll do a couple of weeks. I'll do one this Sunday. And I'll do one the next Sunday, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know if there's any updates. Okay, right, right, normal one there from Martin Ryder. Okay, real Rini, is it? Hi Peter and everybody at the stream. Looking forward. Okay, thank you. Right, let's jump forward quite a way. A few people I haven't said hello to yet. Right. I think I've said hello to most. Get down to some of the newer ones there. Nino, how you doing? Darren Howe, haven't said hello to you. Hi from, you're in Durham. Good to see you in. Luxury Vegan Travel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please enter customers. Very formal there. Good to have you in, though. Angels Cabal, of course. How you doing? Alexander D, evening. Jess Hughes, Charles Saunders, Scott, 1977, Marky J, Swedish Soy Dog, how you doing? Bob J, how you doing? Matthew Cartwright, good to see you in again. Right, let me just check something here. Right, okay. Right, okay. Before we go on, let me just check there's no one else. Paul Hoskin, I'm a three-hole monger. Yeah, okay, Paul. I'll leave it at that. D-Rock 7977, I said hi to you, didn't I? Mark Hanley, I said hi to you. Let's get through these. I think we're nearly there. Cohort 61. I like Friday, but I didn't vote. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Nobody can kind of sway me now. What's going to sway me is the numbers. I'm going to do Friday and Sunday for a little while, and I'll check out the numbers. And obviously, the bigger numbers, that's what I'm going to go with. But it's quite obvious to me from that poll, the graph there, 49% have said do it on a Sunday at 7 o'clock. So, you know, all these arguments that get chucked across, you got to go with the numbers, haven't you? Deke the Trucker, how you doing? Peter, can you do both Fridays and Sundays? Well, you just come in, haven't you? Because I did say I would for now. Like I say, my biggest fear, I haven't got any problems doing 2 streams a week. I know it's only a 1-day gap. Ideally, it would be like a Friday and a Wednesday or a Tuesday midweek. I haven't got a problem with doing 2 streams, but what I have got a big problem is I'm quite fearful that people will get bored. You know, I'm not going to name some YouTubers, but there's some YouTubers who'll do 3 or 4 times a week. And, you know, people have said to me, you know, I used to like watching the guy, but he's just on so much now. It's boring me. Not that the guy's boring, but, you know, you can have too much of a good thing, can't you? So I'm very wary of that. That's why I'm quite strict and keep it to 1 day a week. Mark Hewitt, how you doing? Good to see you. And Jackson J says Friday is nice since not able to watch live, can watch leisurely over the weekend. When I'm in Thailand, I might try and do something for the Australians and the Americans, try and get a time, because I'm in a different time zone, aren't I, when I live in Thailand? So I'll try and do something that's kind of 9 p.m. for the Australians and maybe 9 p.m. New York or California, East Coast, West Coast. I was talking to Marky Mark about that in the week. He's not yet. You haven't seen Marky Mark in for a long time because he's changed his shift pattern. He emailed me and had a little chat with him. Okay, Luxury Vegan Travel. Peter, Friday is okay, but I missed last week's live stream as I was out, but watched it later. Sunday evening is good as no one has nothing else to do. Yeah, I mean, maybe what I'll do is I'll make this the main one. You know, I'll do 2 hours, try not to go on too long. And maybe Sunday I'll just come on for an hour and a half. That's long enough, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to be doing any ladyboy competitions, anything. I'm just going to come on and speak and let you guys speak. And we'll speak about whatever you're talking about. And it's very casual, and maybe I can do that. We'll see how it goes. Super nice. Peter, I'm the one who recognized Pantip. You forgot to respond. Hi today. So sorry about that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I won't make it into a competition tonight. You know where that is behind me, don't you? Damien got that last time. We're all family now. Meet up 9 o'clock Friday. Tip top Friday night. Okay, thanks, Damien. Yeah, I mean, you know what that is. You can have a guess if you don't know what it is. Damien, don't tell anybody because you got it last time. But everybody should know where is that behind me? Look, that picture behind me. You should know by now. Glenn Hendricks. Why don't you alternate Friday? That's a good idea. Why don't you alternate Friday and Sunday? Look at the numbers over a few weeks and decide. Right. So I think what I'll do for now, the next 2 weeks, I'll do Friday and Sunday, and I might try that. That's a brilliant idea. But you know, the thing is, people get used to a schedule, don't they? It's quite. Was he on last week or did he do the week before? I can't remember. I wasn't here. Has he got a stream tonight or is it next week? You know, that's the only conundrum with that one, isn't it? Right. There's a nice long one there. Kevin Sutherland. Hi, Pete. Kevin. Hey, enjoy your channel Saturday morning, especially after a hard week of working. I don't go anywhere in Australia. To me, it's just getting money to go to Thailand. Yeah, I was talking to a guy today. I've put some weight back on, you know, because when you're in Thailand, you're always moving around. There's lots to do. And this guy lost about the same amount of weight as me. And I've seen him today for the first time for a few months. I said, wow, you put all that weight back on. He said, I know. He said, English shit. When I go over to wherever it is he goes, he says, there's a lot to do. It's like Thailand. And he says, it's just nothing to do. It's boring. And I've been eating. Yours Travels, how you doing, mate? How's a camper van? Friday or Sunday good for me. That's good. That's good. Right. One file, Paul. Is it one? Yeah. Each live in run, do vote for topic of the day and give 15, 20, 30 minutes. the thing is, it's really difficult to stick to times, because sometimes before the stream starts, I'll say to myself, right, 1 hour, 20 minutes, that's more than enough. That's what Edge does a lot of the time. Or I'll say, right, I'll make it a good one tonight, 2 hours, 4 hours, I'm still going. It's really hard to put a time on it. I've had it where I've wanted to go 2 hours, 1 hour, 20 minutes. That's it, guys. Good night. See you next week. Because I just didn't feel it. You got to, I'm talking, I'm engaging with everybody, but it's just not happening. I don't feel it. It's not good. And I can't do anymore. And I think, well, I'll leave it this week. I'll come back with a vengeance next week. Right. Broadcast dive. I think if you can do it, you should do normal stream Friday. And if you could do on location stream when you get to Thailand. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot more in Thailand. Right. Okay. I'll do a couple of there's not a lot of news out at the moment, but I'll just run through some headlines in a minute. Just let's just see who we missed. No name, Nana Square in background. What do you're kind of half right. What do you mean by Nana Square? You've got to be a bit more specific than that. When I get Paul Hoskins, when I get drunk, I will eat anything. All right. Paul, it's not that I don't want to respond to your messages. I always put them up. But what can I say? What you say in your, I know you're a sensible guy because sometimes you'll leave a sensible comment. But when you put these kind of comments up, I haven't got anything I can say to them. I just read it out. Right, Chris, how you doing? Back again. You've been on holiday for a few months, right? I need a flux capacitor and a DeLorean to catch up on your story videos. Yeah, you certainly do. What about that one last week? The Thai girl in England, and she was HIV positive, and she didn't tell the guy she met. And you know the rest. Terrible. Right. Why is a stream blurred from Parky? I don't think it is. I'm looking at what you're looking at. Looks normal to me. Nobody else has said anything yet. Tell me if it is. Right. Broadcast time. I think if you can do it, you should do your normal stream Friday. Okay. Right. I've just read that one. Black Bolt, how are you doing? Let's get you up there. Your handsome face there. Well, that isn't you. We know. Sundays are good because you can discuss the stories from Saturday's stream. Yeah. Well, we discuss anything anybody wants to. Right, I've actually done it. I think I've got everybody in. Michael, is it Genius or Genius? Right, hi Peter. Have you seen the price on direct flights from London over £1,500? You've got to look around. You can get them cheaper than that. I was looking last week seriously, and yeah, a lot of them were coming up anywhere between sort of £1,200–1,300. But if you say, okay, I always go on a Sunday, but if I was looking on a Tuesday and a Wednesday lunchtime flights, and I found a few flights for around £650. You've got to look really hard, since I looked like 4 days ago, I think it was. I looked 4 days ago and I could find flights, but I'm not going to go at the moment. Pelly. Hi, Peter. What's your favorite area of Pattaya? And do you have any favorite bars to recommend us? I'm old school. I like the beach road and I like walking street. I'm not really into, the Soy Bacau, that side of Soy 2. That wasn't around when I used to hang out seriously in Pattaya. Favorite bars, I like the beach bars, the open bars that are, the Go-Go bar, which Go-Go bar I like. I've always liked Happier Go-Go on Walking Street. Okay, right, let me just get into a few stories, get these out the way. Right, this is a strange one because they've just legalized marijuana, haven't they, with strict conditions. You can't, it's not, like I said last week, Thailand, Bangkok is not the new Amsterdam. You can't just spark up and go down, but they have legalized it. All right, Thailand's PM Prayut Chan-O-Cha, did I pronounce that properly, has ordered a crackdown on illegal drugs in the country. An anti-drug award ceremony yesterday. Prayut urged local officials to continue cracking down on drug rings as well as their financial supporters. However, the PM also stressed that rehabilitated addicts need occupational training to help them rebuild their lives. Really strange that they come out with that when they've just legalized marijuana. PayPal, they took PayPal, great service. They removed it from Thailand. In other words, you couldn't send and receive money through PayPal. Well, it seems they're opening up again PayPal, but only for Thais, not foreigners. PayPal announced its service will be up and operational in Thailand this year under its registered company named PayPal Thailand. To use the service, current users would be required to verify their identities via the Thai National ID platform, and process requires Thai National ID card. Obviously, this is a problem for foreigners. Yeah. The thing is, it is because it's, you can use Wise to transfer money, but PayPal's great. I'm wondering how I'll get on because I've got PayPal and I take donations through PayPal, obviously, and I pay for things through PayPal, but it's all registered in the UK. So they're not going to know I've gone to Thailand, are they? I shouldn't think. I'm not going to say anything. And here's some big news, but I don't want to scare anybody. So do you remember a few weeks ago, I said they're changing the visas, there's certain categories of visas. And I said, I'd read something about 4 different visas they were going to bring in, and people were asking me questions. I didn't know enough to tell you. I said, let me go off and research it. Now, I did find an article. I forgot to put the link in the bottom, so I'll try and put that in at the end. But I've just done bullet points, so I don't ramble on too long, just to give you an idea. This article, so I've missed a lot out of it, but I've got the main bullet points in. So it says, do you want to retire in Thailand? Think again, unless you've got the cash. Thailand's Board of Investment is set to make an announcement on September 1st, so not very long now, regarding its long-term resident visa plan. There are 4 categories, and unless you've got plenty of money in Thailand, it's not happening for you. The LTR visa plan is targeting 4 types of foreign residents. So there's only one that will really matter to us, and if you're around my age, right? So you've got the first one is the visa is called a global wealthy citizen. So that's not me, right? Wealthy pensioners, and work from Thailand professionals, highly skilled professionals, right? So I've only put a few more details about the wealthy pensioner. So if you want to get that visa, it says the wealthy pensioner is someone 50 plus years of age who receives regular pension income of no less than $80,000 a year. If the personal income is below $80,000 but no less than $40,000 a year, applicants must have an investment of no less than $250,000 in Thailand in any of the following: A, a Thai government bond; B, an investment in a Thailand limited company; C, investment in real estate. The wealthier pensioner also needs a health insurance policy of no less than $50,000 coverage through the entire period of his stay in Thailand. Now, I wouldn't shit in your pants about that, guys. There's a lot of hot wind comes out from that end, and I'll just say it in a roundabout way, there's always ways round things, if you know what I mean, right? I'm just giving you some kind of loose information so you can go and look it up for yourselves. I'm not worried about it, and you shouldn't be either. All right. Okay. Let's have a look. Black Bolt. PayPal being removed saves me a lot of paper. Okay. Obviously, I'm not sure what that relates to, but you do. Right. Somebody talking about flights here again. David Craig, Swiss Air business class, London to Bangkok, return for only 2,300. I found a flight on Emirates, and Emirates are a great airline. And I always said I don't like to stop over in the Middle East, but somebody said to me, well, look, think about this. You're on a 6-hour flight. You can have a little walk around the airport for a couple of hours, then you do another 6-hour, breaks it up. I still prefer direct because I get tanked up at the airport and sleep, even in economy. But they were doing economy upgrade, and it's very, very good on Emirates. It's almost like business class, because when you put the price in, they charge you for each way as opposed to a combined ticket. And I was looking at about £1,800. But they are a good airline. I'd say if they're not one of the best, they are the best. Mark Hanley says, loads of fit birds walking around Wood Green tonight. Oh, yeah, okay. Bigger stickers. Nana Plaza before COVID, the best phone shops at the back on level 1. I would hand over my phone and the girl would insert the SIM, program it, and hand it back with everything. Well, they do that in most, to be fair. It's a little bit difficult in the 7-Elevens. They will do it for you, when you want to change your SIM or you buy some credit. You say, can you do it for me? Well, in 7-Eleven, you've got people that are like, bloody foreigner. But a great place. I've already, in that video I made last week, 30 tips, which has now become 60 tips because there's 2 volumes. I did tell you there's 2 mobile phones at the airport. You can get your SIM cards there. But what Bigger Sticker says, yeah, you can go there. But there's another place, Terminal 21. I called it Terminal 1 in the video. Terminal 21 on Sukhumvit, very close to Soi 4, not that far. Jump on the back of a bike, 30 baht, 40 baht. Well, if you go right to the very top, it's nothing but phone shops. And if you go to True, right in the end, they have got English-speaking agents in there. Okay, right. Right, No Name says, I've taken your suggestion on going incognito when searching for flights. Yeah, that's so they can't remember you, isn't it? And you can get cheaper flights sometimes, right? Okay. Right, Clive says, I give up weed 19 months ago, but willing to try it once more. Yeah, it's not my thing, Clive, to be honest with you. Right, half an hour. Let's do something. Let's have a look. I've got so much here tonight. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you a photograph, okay? I was about 30 in this photo. No, I think it was about 28, 29. Looked completely different. I had a bit of black hair back then, and it isn't dyed. That is my hair. Now I'm standing with my arm around a lady here. She's a famous lady, very famous. She was more famous in the 90s, all right? So I can talk over this. I'll put this up, right? Who's that handsome man there? No, right, that is a very famous lady. I'll tell you afterwards what she's famous for if you don't know. She was massive in the 90s, and she's still pretty famous now. I'll be surprised when I say her name, you'll know her, but I'm sure a lot of people will recognize her. And you know, that was me with her. And she was actually quite a nice lady as well. Actually, she was very humble. I mean, she let me put my arm around her, as you can see. So who is that? Let's have a look. Right. Well done. Straight in, Chaka Khan. It is indeed Chaka Khan. Ain't got she sang Ain't Nobody. Yeah, that's her. Well, while we're doing this, I might as well show you a couple of other photographs I dug out. You can have a laugh. Yeah, everyone knows. Look, Paul Shackleton says Chaka Khan. I thought that'd be a little bit difficult for some people, but look, you're all getting it. Look, well, that was about as difficult as the Ladyboy competition. Brian says jammy git. Not that jammy, Brian. I mean, look, you know, it's only my hand that is touching her, but other thoughts did come into my head, I must admit. All right. Right, let's get rid of that. And what I'll show you very, very quickly, this is going to be an interesting stream, isn't it? This is when I was under the palm tree. It was here's the waiter. He was a lovely way. No, look, I'm sure when I'm emptying the house over the next few months, I'm going to find a stack of photographs from Thailand from when I was young, because people ask me. But here's a couple from China, and we did it. I don't know where this is, but I'll show you this. I'm totally pissed. Look at my eyes, right? These are Chinese girls, but they're dressed in the Thai outfit, and I'm dressed as a Isam peasant farmer, but it's the end of the night, and I'm totally rat-assed. As you can see there, I think I was about 29 there, 28 maybe, and the eyes say it all, don't they? I mean, they're Chinese girls in that picture. They actually did a good job at kind of, especially the two on the left, I would actually believe that they are Thai, but they're actually Chinese, mainland Chinese. And just for a laugh, I had to do the tourist bit. Thumbs up. It doesn't get any worse than that, does it? The old thumbs up. That's actually standing on the Great Wall of China. But yeah, right. No more photographs, guys. I promise. Okay, right. Oh no, there will be another photograph, but not of me. I want to say hi to. Where are we? Right, here we go. I want to say hi to this gentleman here, Steve Perry. Now, Steve wrote to me today. He's a truck driver, and he doesn't get to watch the live streams live, as it were. Steve drives, and he's bought the book, obviously. Plug. And the reason he's put those two Leos there is because he actually bought a box of Leos from Thailand. So when he left Thailand, he actually bought 12 cans of Leo. And he said to me, look, I've just drank my last two. And he was sending the photograph there. So I know you'll watch this tomorrow, Steve. So all the best, mate. Thanks for sending the pictures in. Very, very nice pictures. And thank you for buying the book. Okay. Right. Let's get back in here. Black Bolt says, yeah, she used to be gorgeous. She was quite hot, and yeah, well, let's leave it at that. And she was a real lady, I mean, when I worked for a brief time running this club in Singapore, we used to get a lot of, we had I met Banana Rama there. I met that really tall guy, Wet. He got offended because I called him Martin. His name's actually Marty. I was like, hi, Martin. He says, it's Marty, actually. That's my worst Scottish accent. But she was very, very nice and very humble and very, she didn't, she wasn't up on a high horse. Very, very decent woman. Okay. I don't know if that's a Mickey take rumble or a joke. I'll put it up anyway. Okay. Well done, everybody. Everybody knew it was Chaka Khan. Yeah, you got it as well, Andrew. Okay. How you doing, Andrew? You all right? I did mention our little trip on the motorbikes. I don't know if you heard that. Right. Okay, everybody's saying Chaka Khan was hot. Let's write on. Matthew Olcombe says, Lady Boy on the right. Yeah, that's me. Gemini, right? Okay, we've got to do something. Half an hour in. What should we do? Let's have a look. I've got plenty here for you tonight. Oh, it's the old beer. I haven't even had one yet. Is it too early to do the manga minute? I think it is, isn't it? Let's have a few beers before we do that. We've got a Texas lady boy in tonight as well. That's going to be good. We've got the Japanese girls. I'll tell you what I'll do. See, we're in a serious mode. We've got over 400 in. Let me show you this 1.5. It'll give me a chance to grab a beer. Let me show you this clip. Now, let me give it some build up. So you remember 2 weeks ago on the beach, the police with those long sticks, the foreigner who was about as convincing as, you know, I can't think of an example, but he stood there with a knife like, I'm looking dangerous. And they walked up with these sticks, and it was pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. Now, this is a real case. There's a guy, I think he's high on meths or some sort of drugs. He's in his room, and you'll see a couple of the cops are real keen with the sticks, with the run. Watch when the guy's hand comes out the door. The guy with the truncheon, he gets carried away. I'm building it up now. I'm building it up. It's coming. It's coming. So this is a guy who's absolutely gone out of his head, and it's the first chance they have to use his stick. And do you remember how quickly and how smoothly it went on the beach when they did the mock? You remember? Have a look at this and see if it's the same. I mean, any other country in the world that had jumped on him, that had surrounded. I mean, there was enough of them, wasn't there? They could have surrounded him and just dropped him, but it kind of went on a long time, didn't it? Now, they missed out the bit at the end. I think, you know, when he hit the window and then they all started clucking like chickens, I think they cut out the bit where he actually smashed the window, because I think what happened then, because he was high on drugs, he smashed that window. He's probably on the second or third floor, and he's jumped out, and then the camera's cut to it. But what a way to go. I mean, you go to Thailand to have a good time. Maybe he's an expat. Maybe he's got a Thai girl who's done something to really upset him, and he's tried to make himself feel better by drinking or taking drugs. But, you know, no prizes for guessing where the guy will be tonight. And it's real. You can look at it and say, well, the guy was a dickhead, of course. But, you know, what a terrible way to end up. You know, you go to Thailand for a good time, and he's shouting his girlfriend's name, I think, at the end there. I've got to thank somebody for highlighting that. And that was Nick Frankel. Thanks for, he didn't send me it, but he told me where to get it. So thanks, Nick, for that. And always, as always, Noel, if you're out there, big shout out to you, mate. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Okay. My free TV box, please do not give out answers to the quiz. I've had a rehearsal tonight. You know what I've done? Because you know last week, the Ladyboy competition, I gave out the answers again. You don't know how upset I get about it, because them competitions, they only last a few minutes, but it take me most of the afternoon to make them. And but I've worded them now with capitals and the word first, and the second one with answers in capitals. And I'll have a few seconds. I won't just lunge into it, so don't worry. Mark Hanley, I took Liam Gallagher to Nana and Soy Cowboy to Nana and Soy Cowboy when Oasis played at Impact Arena years ago. Yeah, okay, good. I was in a bar in Nana. I can't remember the boys' band, but you remember in the 90s, I had a lot of these boy bands that were really popular. You know, screaming teenage girls and what have you. And I was in a bar in Nana Plaza, a go-go bar, quite a big one. I'm just trying to think which one it was now. It might have been Hollywood on the ground floor, which is now called London Calling, used to be called Hollywood. And this boy band came in with their manager or somebody, and all the girls on stage were screaming, screaming, screaming. And I remember thinking when they walked in, I thought, oh, their girls are screaming because they know this boy band. And actually thinking about it, I don't think that's what it was. I think it was kind of 4 or 5 young, handsome guys dressed really trendy because they're in a pop band, right? And they probably just looked at them, and they used to seem like old guys with pot bellies. And all of a sudden, these 5 young, handsome guys, you know, dressed trendy. And that's probably why they were screaming. They probably didn't even know who they were, to be fair. Right. Tommy Robinson. Peter, let's have a look. What do you think of the inflation here compared to the inflation in Thailand? Well, it's harder for the Thais, isn't it? Because obviously there is a lot of wealthy Thais. Obviously, they're not all poor like people think they are. But everybody's hurting, aren't they? Everybody's hurting. I think the biggest problem in Thailand, I read today that the fuel, which has always been fairly cheap compared to us in the West, well, especially in the UK, they're talking about it now. It's going to be hitting 60 baht a litre, that's very expensive for Thailand. You know, when I was in Hua Hin filling up the old motorbike, I think it was about 31 baht a litre, so nearly double. Yeah, it's not good for anybody. Right, Shane, how you doing, mate? Things got caught under the pedals here in Oz. Okay, you're talking to someone else? You're talking about that clip, like you said. Dutch Frank, poor guy forgot to pay his bar fine. All right. I don't know what that actually means. It says, these boys are fracked. Martin Riley says, police have raided Eddie's sandwich party. Did you see Ed's video? I promote Ed a little bit now because we're friends now. He was in Count Dracula's castle today. That was quite interesting. Yeah, I've said that a few times, Paul. Bangkok must be one of the safest cities in the world. It is few scams going on, but pretty safe. Deke the trucker, the cops with those helmets on remind me of Chips. Who remembers? I remember Chips, the 2 motorcycle policemen. When I lived in Thailand, I used to ride I had one of those helmets because I didn't like my ears being squashed in, and those helmets are actually really. I'm not talking about going down the Pattaya highway to Bangkok at 100 kilometers an hour. I'm thinking if you're on a step through and you just, you're going for your coffee in the morning, then you go and pick up your laundry and, the sort of thing, not in Bangkok, in Pattaya or somewhere like that. And those helmets that the cops wear, they're pretty good because you can actually hear really well without taking them off. And I had one of those helmets when I was there. It didn't say police on it, and it wasn't gold and black. It was just a regular helmet, but it had that same design. It was great. Right, No Name says, how did you keep up with them, Peter? I'm kind of lost. I've got a bad memory these days. I've obviously said something, and you're asking me about what I'd said, and I can't remember what it was. You said, how did you keep up with them? I don't know. Maybe if you write it again and put the full thing, I'll read it out again. Right, Black Bolt says, if the cameras weren't there, it would be over in 10 minutes. Do you think so? I think now the Thai police, they have a cameraman on every kind of thing like that, don't they? Because they don't want to be a kid. I read it also. There was, I don't know the details, but he was an activist. It was about 7 years ago, young lad, not young, he wasn't old. I'm guessing about 30. The police arrested him wrongly, imprisoned him, but they tortured him and they put plastic bags over his head and to get him to confess to doing whatever it was. He was one of the protesters and he denied it because he actually wasn't there. And they put the plastic bag over his head, nearly suffocated him. And they basically said that if you don't confess, we're going to kill you and throw you in the mountains. Terrifying. But the guy, when he got out, he actually got friends in places, and he sued the police and he got awarded, I can't remember, but it's quite a few million baht. And the cops that were involved in it, they actually got jailed. The guy who was in charge of them. Terrible. Can you imagine getting taken to your local police station? The old Tesco bag goes over until you confess. Awful. That's what I'm saying. If you're in Thailand, behave yourself, really. Not a good place to be. Not enough police, says Wayne. Yeah, somebody told me those poles, they use them in Japan for something. I've not seen them before either. Right, Checkbound. Good to see you, buddy. I can say it again, mate. Right, Checkbound. Hello, Peter and everyone. Watching that video makes me so glad that I have never done drugs apart from alcohol. When you have 20 police guys chasing you down corridors, life isn't working out. Yeah, and it's hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And it's easy to say, well, if I was there, I would have done that, or I would have done that. But my character, if for some reason a Thai girl, I'm just guessing now, if a Thai girl had done the dirty on me and I was so upset about it because it was my girlfriend, I found out she'd been shagging my mate or something, or she'd been making money out of it, and I was so upset, I thought, right, I'm going to take drugs to make myself feel better. I know you could, there's an argument saying, well, he couldn't do anything about it because he was high on drugs. But in that scenario, when the police knocked my door, I would have been calling them sir, right? Not because I'm a coward, but I like to think I'm quite intelligent, not stupid. You know, when the police are whacking your arm away with a truncheon, with a wooden stick, you know it's time to be nice. You know, not a good way. They're not going to let him go, are they? He got jailed, Dutch Bacon. What's the story of Joe Ferrari, the policeman? Yeah, he got prosecuted and jailed in the end. Jeffrey Lord, can I live in Thailand on $17,000 a month? Have you ever did condo prices? The thing with condo prices, they're up and down like a horse draws. You know, they really are. There's so many good videos, but let me just put that into US dollars, into Thai baht. So you're saying 1,700 US dollars times, say, 31 at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, I mean 52,700. It's not a huge amount of money. You can get by, but if you're living in Bangkok, it'll be a struggle. But if you haven't watched all the other videos, what you've got to consider is don't just calculate your rent, your water, your food. Remember your visas. They have to be paid for. Remember, if you're going out the country in emergency, it has to be paid for. Remember medical insurance. It has to be paid for. People don't tell you all these things when they're doing budgets on, you'll get guys say, oh, I get by on $600 a month. I'm having a ball. Absolute bollocks. Right. And Tesco's, what did I say? Tesco's, condos. I got to think about Tesco's tonight, plastic bag. Condos, the only thing I'll say on condos, if you live outside of Bangkok, you'll get a lot better deals. You live in Bangkok, it's quite expensive. If you want to, you'll get a small room, maybe 10,000 baht in the center, the tourist areas. But if, you know, I've known people to have like 2-bedroom condos, swimming pool, gym, looking over the sea in Hua Hin, 15,000 baht a month. What's that, about £500? So it depends where you live. Ben, Limpini Park. I don't know what that refers to. Right, a nomad overseas. Haven't said hello to you tonight. You reckon it's worth looking at apartment rentals on Facebook Marketplace, or better to just go through agency? I wouldn't do either. I'll tell you what I do. I wouldn't do either, actually. I've got to be careful because I don't want to piss off all the agents in Bangkok if they watch me. I don't tend to go to the agents. I was looking for an apartment and I found an apartment last time I was there, but I've decided against it now. I'll tell you why. What I do is I decide the area I want to live. Like, so when I was there last time, I thought, right, I want to, because of my YouTube channel, I need to live between Soi 3 and Soi Asok. Any of those sois. So it could be 13, 7, 22. Is 22 after Asok or before? A little bit after Asok, but it's okay. That sort of area, because my channel, I don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of it right now, but I need to live in that area. And the last time I stayed at the Stable Lodge in Soi 8, and I thought, well, I'll start looking for an apartment. Now, I don't go to agents and look at all them photographs because they tend to be more expensive because the agents have to make money. And there's, you know, a lot of the Thais, when they put it with a foreigner agency or a Thai that speaks good English, they think, oh, I can bump the rent up because he's going to be selling it to foreigners, renting to foreigners. What I tend to do is I'll take a soy at a time. I'll do 2-3 soys in an afternoon. So what I'll do, give you an example. I came at my hotel in Soi 8. Very, very deep soys, long soys. If you're on Sukhumvit, and you look down all these streets you pass, and they go on, like Soi 23, for instance, where Soi Cowboy is. If you don't know it really well, you get to the petrol station, you turn around, you've got Crazy House there, the go-go bar, then you turn left into Soi Cowboy. Well, that road, Soi 23 rather, that goes on for a long way, and at the end you've got a university, and you've got a klong down there, a canal, and if you walk the canal, you'll end up back at Soi 0 under the highway there. You know, the bridge just up from Soi Nana. So those long soys, there's a lot of choice on there. So what I would recommend when you look for an apartment is just walk the Soi and go into the buildings, and every one of them have got security. You get your Google Translate and you just put, have you got any condos for rent? And you show it to the security. And what happened to me, they'd either say no, nod their heads, or they take me and they take me to the desk, and the lady at the desk spoke English. Now that's how you'll get the deals, because a lot of foreigners, they don't do that. What they do, they go to agents because it's easier. They sit in an air-conditioned office. All the pictures are there, all the prices are there, and it's an easy option, but it's not the cheapest option. As far as Facebook goes, yeah, I mean, okay, I don't use Facebook, but I'm sure, you know, there's people. But again, you know, if it's on Facebook, I would imagine one guy owns that apartment, a foreigner, and he's not going to be around. But if you make it your home and he suddenly wants to come back to Thailand, you know, you've got to look for somewhere else, haven't you? So that's the best bit of advice I can give you on there. And the problem in the old days was when you were deep into a street, at night you could never get a taxi or a motorbike because they didn't go in that deep. But now with Grab, it's easy. You just put it into Grab, the taxi will come straight to your front door. I hope that answered your question. Only in Thailand. Flights from Manchester to Bangkok from July have increased a lot since 2019, and the cheapest price I could get was 1,210 Emirates, quoted a massive 3,500 each time before I search delete the cookies. Well, what you've got to remember, the couple of things you've got to remember is, one, aviation fuel, like every other sort of fuel, has doubled, at least doubled in price, hasn't it? So they can't fly that aircraft to Thailand or Dubai, wherever, for the same price as they did it before. The other thing you've got to remember, because it's Thailand, it's just opening up now. Everybody loves to go to Thailand. There's people who have got girlfriends in Thailand, wives in Thailand. They haven't had like Damon, good example. He's got a girlfriend of 16 years in Thailand. He hasn't been able to get back for 2.5 years. He's now booking. Why? Because the pandemic is just about over and he can go back and see his girlfriend. He's got a house in Thailand. So there's a lot of guys going to be wanting them seats, aren't there? So aviation fuel's doubled in price. That doesn't help. And there's a lot of people going now because they can. And it's supply and demand. If everybody wants to go now, they can put their prices up. But you should spend a lot of time looking because there are deals out there if you're prepared to go maybe on a Tuesday morning or a Thursday late at night, that sort of thing. Right. Is it Klaus? How much extra will you estimate you will pay extra if you go to an agent? I don't know. I'm not an expert on apartments, but I would just say you've got to remember, if you go, the Thais, what they tend to do, they'll put a sign on the wall and it'll be written in Thai with a phone number. Well, unless you're a blithering idiot, it's pretty obvious what it is. If it's an apartment, small apartment building, I'm not talking about, 86 floors with a huge pool on the roof. I'm just talking about a standard apartment, maybe 7-Eleven at the bottom of it and stuff. But you'll find you walk down, then you'll see a sign written in Thai with a phone number. Well, it's on an apartment building. What else is it going to be? You go and speak to the reception. You are definitely going to get, somebody said to me, right, they didn't know how long I'd spent in Thailand. They said to me, because they said, where do you want to live? And this was when I was in Bangkok. They said, where are you going to live? And I said, I'm going to live off Sukhumvit. And this guy said to me, just like this, he said, well, let me tell you something. He said, what are you looking for? I said, probably a 1-bedroom apartment, I want a little balcony. It doesn't have to be huge, 30 square meters. I said, but it's got to have a balcony where I can hang my clothes. It's got to have a separate bedroom, lounge, little kitchenette, nothing fancy, Western shower and toilet. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, he says, you're not going to get anything cheaper than 40 to 60,000 baht. That's what he told me. And I thought, no, rubbish. I ended up finding a Soi 20. I can't remember the name of the building, but I found a 1-bedroom apartment. It had a safe in the room. It's got a washing machine. It's got a balcony. It's got a nice bedroom, nice big lounge, shower, toilet, the whole lot. Secure. It's all secure. They've got guards downstairs. It's in a quieter part of Soi, 20,000 baht a month. Fantastic apartment. I was going to take that on, but I've decided now I'm going to go on the cheaper side. I don't need a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm solo. I'm on my own. I just need a comfortable room. So something like a hotel room, maybe a bit bigger. It's got a shower room on the side, a desk where I can work on my YouTube, and it's fairly comfortable. I wouldn't like to go into numbers because I don't know. And as soon as you start giving numbers, people come back at you and say that's wrong. You want to get your facts straight. I'm just giving you an idea of how to do it in a better way. Walking up and down Sois in the 38-degree heat is not everybody's idea of a good afternoon out. But try and do it, guys. Just next time you go back, just do it for fun. Go down one Soi, and you'll see when you get down the bottom, there's loads of apartment buildings. So just go in everyone and ask, and you'll be surprised. I found 3 in Soi 8, and it took me half an hour. 3. One of them looked like the sort of room that if I was going to top myself, I would have taken that room. It was awful, 15,000 baht a month. But the apartment was nice, and I found a room as well for about 12,000 baht. Right. Okay, someone wants me to read out their comment by the looks of it. Real Space Hobo. Flying from Copenhagen is £600 return with Thai Airways Direct. Easy and cheap from GB to DK. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. People are coming in here tonight and saying airfares are 1,200, 1,500, 2,000. Yeah, those fares are out there, but there's also, I wouldn't say cheap, but there's airfares that are £600 and £700. They are out there. I know they're out there because I searched seriously 4 days ago. and I came across some good flights. You know, they weren't 550 like I used to pay in 2019. £700-800 direct. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Is it IC2 dealer? It's probably more fun to apply. People with Thai accents could easier to deal with, especially since I speak Laos fluently. In the condo buildings, a lot of the people, they speak some English, some broken English. And if you're a guy who speaks a little bit of Thai like me, between the two of you, you can get through it. James Case says 12,000 baht, 300 a month Airbnb. I'm not a fan of Airbnb, to be honest with you, James. So I can't say whether you're right or wrong, but I'm sure you're right. You wouldn't put that up if you weren't. Jackson J, I had stayed at a large 40 square meter studio with cooking area in the Lao Prao area, only 12,000 baht per. Yeah, and another thing is, the further you go out, the cheaper it's going to be if you want to live in Bangkok. Example, my friend Simon, he lives in Bang Na. It takes 20 minutes on the SkyTrain. It's a lot of stations, but you know he's got a mortgage on a 3-bedroom house in a gated community. Very nice. I won't tell you what he pays, but it's not big money, you know. And out where he lives, you'll get a 1-bedroom large apartment, swimming pool, gym, the whole lot, 7,500 baht a month. But you're out of the centre. But if you live there, think about it. How often are you going to go to to Cowboy and Nana? And where he lives, although you don't have those sort of places, you have Big C and Tesco's and, you know, outside markets and all the rest of it. So something else to explore. Right. Just say hi to Bob as well. Bob, I haven't forgotten you. I hope you enjoyed your Indian curry today. I told you I'll be gone for one soon. Right. Let's have a look. Rumble. Nanatai Mansion in Soi Pho used to have permanent residents in their hotel room. Well, actually, that's where I stay most of the time, this Nana Mansion, because their rooms, if you don't take the upgrade, if I go with my wife, I have to get the upgraded room, 1,400 a night, really nice. But if I go on my own, I'll take it hasn't been upgraded. It's £19 a night, which is about $22 if you're looking from America. And in Australia, that would probably be about 38 Australian dollars. And it's okay. I wouldn't say it's anything better than okay, but the coffee shop's good and it's in a great location. They have a tuk-tuk to run you up. The stable lodge was great, but I was paying 1,000 baht a night for that. But in normal times, it's about 1,800, which I can afford, but I don't need to spend that much money on a hotel. Okay. The Barmy Army. Wu-Tang, she can demand child support. Okay. Completely different subject. I don't know about that one. Right. Only in Thailand. I have searched for a week and the cheapest economy return from Manchester. I couldn't find. Yeah. Okay. So that's from Manchester. I don't know because I haven't looked from Manchester, but I would have thought because you have to do a stopover in the Middle East or maybe a stopover in Europe, like the Netherlands or Amsterdam. Yeah. I would have thought you could have got a better deal than that. I always go from Heathrow. I won't fly from Gatwick. It's just too far. And I drive a lot of the time. But I won't have a car soon because I'm giving it to my daughter as a graduation present. That's very generous of me, isn't it? We're going up to Birmingham in 2 weeks' time. My younger daughter's finished uni now. She's going up for graduation. You know, the black gowns and the photographs, and we've got to sit through the lectures and all the rest of it. And then we're going for an Indian meal afterwards. But as a graduation present, I'm thinking, what can I give her? I'm giving her my car, and I'm paying up front for a year's insurance because she's passed a test 3 years ago, but she has never driven because of COVID and everything. And I'm just paying for some lessons at the moment. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I think because you're talking about Manchester there. Right. Jeffrey Lord. I want to be near Pattaya, but with the service of the BART buses. Well, yeah, look, Pattaya, cheap, very cheap. I've seen them advertise. Serviced apartments, hotel rooms for like 4,000 baht a month. You know, I don't know what they're like. Well, they actually looked okay on the video, but no, there's lots of options. Jumped in is really, really nice. But from what you're saying there, you want to be on the BART bus route. But if you're living there, why get yourself a small step-through motorcycle? Then you can go anywhere. And you know, taxis are plentiful in Pattaya. You shouldn't pick an apartment because you want to be on the main BART bus route, as it were. Okay, David says cheap round trip flights out of Singapore. Used to fly to Singapore, then get a flight to Phuket. All right. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, appreciate that. It's one of them things you've got to go, haven't you? And it'll be photographs, you know, with a wife, and she's got the bloody square hat they have from uni, and it's like you got to do it, haven't you? But I'll be honest with you, it's not my thing. I'll be glad when it's over. Right. So, are you ready for a competition, guys? We've got over 400 in. Let's have a look. What should we do first? I'll tell you what. Let's do. You know the game, don't you? Let's do the guess the Thai girl. I'm just making sure I don't get the answers up first. Right. Okay. Got my mouse ready on the right one. So you know the game, right, guys? I'm going to put a card up. 8 pictures of girls from around Asia, and only one of them is a Thai girl. And the game. Tell me what number you think the Thai girl is, and I'll run this video again with the answers. Okay. So you're ready? Just which number is a Thai girl? Right, do you know your Thai ladies? Let's find out who does and who doesn't. Of course, it could be a wild guess and you could be right. Right, I'm just going to run through them real fast like I always do. Yes or no? Yes, obviously you got the right answer. No, you got the wrong answer. Right, straight off the back, Paul Shackleton, no. Wrong answer, mate, wrong answer. Danish Bacon, no. Paul Smith, no. Clive, no. Got 3 answers there, Clive. Dayan Ford, no. Simon Goodison, well done, mate. Richard Songa, no. David McHugh, no. Rama Mandeep, no. Martin Ryder, well done. James Casey, no. Paul Shackleton again, no. Will Smith, well done. Damon, no. Rumble, well done. Lex 500, yes. Charlie Stewart, right, no. Seamus Doherty, good evening to you, Seamus. Haven't said hi to you. No, by the way. Black Bolt, no. Jeff CEO, is it? No. Daniel Mills, yes. Swedish Soy Dog, yes. Leeds, no. Lewis 89, no. Brian Street, no. Sorry, Brian. Real Space Hobo, no. Narrowbolt, Florence Rose. What a name. No. World Traveller. Did we have 8? We did have 8, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Deke the Trucker, no. Barang, yeah, well done. Quay Squad. I'm wondering if some people go back when I say well done and they look and they have another go. But it's just for fun. It doesn't really matter, does it? Where have I lost my place now? Right, if I miss you out, guys, sorry, there's just so many answers coming in. Steve White, no. Nick T, no. Nino, no. A then, no. Charles Saunders, yes. Paul Scratch, no. Only in Thailand, no. Pesky McNuggets, no. Alexander Dagray, that's a great name. Well done, mate. You know your ties. Cole the Band, no. Neil M, no. Salty Fog, no. Dutch Frank, no. Martin Ryder, no. Geezers, no. Nomad Overseas, no. We Connect websites, no. Chris, a bit of advertising there by the looks of it. Chris, no, mate, sorry. Mike Sands, no. Klaus, no. Paul Leverage, yes. Cohort 61, no. Jolly Fox, yes. Rob, how you doing, Rob? Haven't said hi to you. Just see you in. No, sorry, Rob, wrong answer. Darren Howe, yes. Kenneth Hill, no. Clive, you're going for it now, and both answers are wrong. D-Rock, no. JG, yes. Taxi Talal, no. Gemini Star, no. Bendover, no. Matthew O'Connor, no. Mike M, no. Alex Curtin, no. Tripod, no. I'm going to put them up soon. MJM, yes. Geezers, no. Second guess there, wrong again. Gary Hughes, you've written it there, that's right. Javier, no. Glenn Hendricks, no. Alf Garnett, no. Snozzer, laugh out loud. You can see the Thai text in the background. Well, why are so many not getting it wrong then? I need number 2, says Clive. The Wu-Tang Light, no. Marky J, no. Parky, no. I will have a look at that when I put it up because I missed out on that. Andrew Hammond, no. Norman Anderson, no. Chet Bound, no. Gary Russell, yes. Bazwookie, is it? Yes. Jackson J, no. We'll move on in a minute, guys. We're nearly there. Big Kevin, no. Where are we? Biggest Dickus, no. Greg Fox, no. Running out of breath here. Eric Whitefield, yes. VVV, no. Peter Fretwell, no. Donald Pearson says 7 looks pretty good, yeah. Look, well, they're all girls. They're all girls. That's a good thing. Luxury Vegan, yeah, you got it, mate. You got 4th goal tonight, Clive, and you're still not right. Have another whiskey. I'm gonna have to finish this in a minute. It's going on a bit now. Bob J, no. Mold Giant, is it 8? No. Clive, 6th answer, still no. Bloody hell, yeah, right. I'd say that as well because you haven't got any of them. 6 goals you've had, right? Mr. Jammy Boy, no. Gary Russell, I think I said yes to you already. Let me just, I'm going to read the right ones out now and I'm going to show it because it's going on a bit now. So Danish Bacon, yes. James Casey, yes. Who else we got? Anyone else got it right? Okay, a lot of people got it right. So let me put you out your misery and let me be very, very careful here now. I don't put the ladyboy up. Right, okay, I got it. I'm being really careful, guys. Right, here we go. And this isn't as long, 40 seconds only. You know, I don't make it easy for you. I mean, there's some Thai girl pictures. You look at them and it's you wouldn't make any mistake, but then it wouldn't be a real competition, would it, if it was that easy? Right, let's do joke of the week. Get that out of the way because I know how painful this is for you. Right, there's two of these. The first one isn't so much that it's funny, but when I read it, I wasn't going to read this one out. So the second joke is a joke of the week, right? But the first one is very clever. It's very short. I'll read it out and see if you see why it's clever. Jesus walks into a restaurant and he asks for a table for 23. The waitress says, but there's only 13 of you. Jesus says, yes, but we all want to sit on the same side. Do you get it? The Last Supper. I thought that was quite clever. Right, okay, let's, but I've got a small mind. I'll get pleased very easy. Right, here we go. Joke of the week. An Englishman is hiking in Scotland and he pauses to drink from a stream. A passing shepherd calls out, then he drink from that stream. It's full of coo piss and shite. Sorry to any Scottish people watching. The Englishman says to him in a cut glass accent, I'm terribly sorry, my good fellow. Would you very much mind repeating that in the Queen's English? So the shepherd says, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I was only asking if you would like to borrow this tin cup and get a proper drink. I'll put my hands up, guys. It wasn't the best one. I've told that one. It wasn't the best, was it? So I'll have to cheer you up a little bit. Let's do the Monga minute now. Let's get this. It's only 30 seconds, but the Monga 30 seconds doesn't sound as good. So here, and we've got a good one this week. Here's the Monga minute. Right, hopefully you'll forgive me for that last joke now. Right, okay, let's get back into the chat. Only in Thailand says, Lewis 89, 587 direct from Heathrow, November. Pretty good, I think, yes, and that's high season. Yeah, I mean, but the, I forget his name, the other guy was talking about those expensive flights. He was saying from Manchester, so I haven't looked from Manchester, so I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Martin Ryder says, Thai have Indian in their DNA. I'll put a picture up for you next week. It's a lot of the Thai girls in the south of Thailand. I'm talking right down on the Malaysian border. A lot of them actually look Indian, and you'd mistake them for Indian. They really look like Indians, but they're not. They're Thais. It's just from that area. Check Band says, But Peter, which one was the Thai girl? Yeah, I told you it was number one. Did you miss it? I put the answers up, didn't I? I'm just paranoid about putting the answers up to the ladyboy. Look, I'll put it for 5 seconds just for you. It was number one, and somebody said she looked Chinese, but I didn't want to make it easier. Right, Black Bolt, that was a curveball. Lots of bar girls get the... You're gone. Where you gone? Hang on. Christ, that disappeared fast. There you are. Lots of bar girls get nose jobs. Yeah, they do. Do you know, somebody said to me, let me, I have got something I want to read out for you, actually. This is from, so I bet I won't be able to find it now. Do you know, I put the, yeah, I've got it here. Right, this is, let me just read this out, because this is quite interesting, actually, if I can get myself back up here. Right, I'm just trying to find his name. Do you remember the picture I put up? I'll put it up again. Yeah, Steve Perry bought the book. He's drinking the Leos now. He's a truck driver. He wrote me an interesting email. It's very short. I'll read it to you. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, how different is Thailand now to when you were first there in the early 90s? And Steve has made a few observations. He says, I spent 2 months in Thailand, April and May, visiting my wife in Chiang Mai and had a great time after 2 years, but I noticed some changes around the country. Number one, introduction of vending machines selling coffee and snacks in malls and big C, etc. Thai people fascinated by them and getting a lot of use. Number two, the lack of staff in shops, even like 7-Eleven. Before, more staff, they were falling over the customers to help you. It's the same like in Mr. DIY. Now you have queues forming, just like in the UK. For online food delivery, such as Grabline and Uber Eats, not new, but much busier. There is a distinct tone alarm when an online order is received and what's that? Excuse me. And is like Amazon. I heard it so many times and waited 15 minutes for a drink, despite only 2 others walking customers. That's how busy they are. I brought back 24 cans of Leo. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that was an observation from Steve there. And you don't notice these changes over time. They're very subtle, aren't they? I mean, to give you an example, again, Soy Cowboy, not the other end where the crazy house is, but where the junction is, a very busy Asok junction. When you crossed over there and you walked that little bit of pavement and then you entered into, so you're walking down Sukhumvit, you got Koreatown on the right, on the other side of the road. You keep walking, you get to the interchange or the crossroads if you're English, very busy junction. And Soy Cowboy's like over there, you want to cross over. And then you had to walk along the pavement, maybe a couple of 100 yards. Well, that used to be lined at night with pop-up bars, little tin tables, girls selling drinks. You could sit there till all night. They had food carts there. So when you came out of Soy Cowboy at 2-3 in the morning, you could spend the night there if you wanted to. I never did. But you could get a plate of rice and a beer and sit there till 5 in the morning. But that's all gone now. They've cleared all that up. So it's very slow. It's very subtle. But over the years, when I look back, I can see a lot of big changes, and they're developing all these highways and all these overhead railways that are going from China right down to Malaysia. They got the new one that's running up. Somebody wrote to me and said they got this new one that's going to be running up through Khon Kaen in Isan. So yeah, the infrastructure is getting really good in Thailand now. And I don't know if that's, I suppose from an old dinosaur like me, I liked it when it was a very simple, it was a very charming, simple country. But then I'm there for myself to enjoy it. I'm not part of the population, am I? So, perhaps I'm being a little bit selfish. Right, Donald Pearson. You in Thailand now, Peter? I haven't been in a while. I am in Thailand right now, Don. Look, I'm just about to go for a drink in Nana Plaza. Look, there I am there. Look, I'm just waiting for the traffic lights there. Look, all the traffics, and I'll be gone. Let's change that. Put something a bit more. I always forget to change it. Let's put something a bit more interesting on. There we go. Right. Do you know, I wanted to put that up actually a couple of weeks ago. Thailand's answer to the Cheeky Girls. The thing is, the Cheeky Girls. Do you remember the Cheeky Girls? Do you remember their first song? Oh my God, We Are the Cheeky Girls. I wanted to play that here, but it's copyright. They just they'd have me for it. Okay, Damon. I thought you'd gone to bed. What one is shaved or hairy on the manga video? Well, you'll have to imagine that one. Unfortunately, even I don't know that. Mark, I don't know about that because You've put Monga Korean Minute with crap pop songs. That wasn't actually a Korean song, because when I got that clip, it actually had a clip of music over it, but it would have been copyrighted music. The clip's okay to show, but not the music. So what I had to do, I had to go into YouTube's music library. As a, you know, if you've got a YouTube channel, you can go in there and you can, there's a lot of music. Some of it's crap, but there's music. So what I do is I open it up in some editing software. I delete the music, the soundtrack that comes with that video, and I had to look for a track that kind of went with it. So that music isn't actually Korean. I don't know, you know, the point you're getting at there. It was a 30-second clip. I mean, it's not going to really torture you too much, is it, if you're not into it? But, you know, I mean, I'll do one a week. They're 30 seconds long. I mean, the stream's sort of 2 to 4 hours long some weeks. I don't think, you know, 30 seconds is going to really hurt you too much. Jason Finch says, I love Thai girls. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Somebody else is saying, these Wutong Life, these girls are Korean YouTube dance group. Some very pretty girls in Korea. But it's not about they have to be Thai, is it? I mean, if you look at other streams, even Eddie talks about movies. He talks about, even I talk about TV programs. Nothing to do with Thailand. I mean, okay, it's a Thai-based YouTube channel like many others, but so what? If they come from Korea, if they're pretty and it lasted 30 seconds with a bit of music, I enjoyed it. Hopefully some of you did. And if they're not Thai, so what? Right. Danish Bacon says, hi, Finch, when you back in... Okay, you're talking to someone else. Right, luxury vegan travel. Peter, many centuries ago, before the continent split, Thailand used to be part of the Asian continent and actually part of India. That's interesting. MJM, I like... Is that... yeah, that's... oh, what's his name now? That's the guy from Foot Soldier, isn't it? God, I was watching it the other night, actually. Tate, wasn't it? Right, living in Thailand for a few years myself, I made the mistake of accidentally renting an apartment off when I didn't know at the time was a pimp. Okay, let's just say it has its benefits but need earplugs. Right, I got you. Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that. He did say he went up to see his wife in Chiang Mai, didn't he? It says Steve Perry looks like a proper monger. No, I think he's he said he's gone up to see his wife. Okay. I'm trying to, as always, I'm trying to find the comments that are related to something I can read out here, because a lot of these are. All right, let me read out something. One of the another story. We haven't got too many, but I'll just read you some headlines here, because when I'm going through the when I'm going through the news articles to see if there's anything interesting, there isn't a lot of news out there today that you don't know about. This isn't a news channel, but if it's something big like they're going to cancel the Thailand pass, then obviously I would mention that. But there's a few headlines, a couple of headlines, 2 or 3 headlines here. I thought it was interesting, not interesting enough to read the whole article, but just read the headlines. And the headlines are, the first one is, Thailand is ready to welcome the return of the Chinese tourists. After Thai Airways were allowed to resume operating 2 flights between the countries each week for the first time since the onset of the pandemic. So Thailand welcoming back the Chinese. And I did read another article where they said, the Thais felt that the Chinese was their kind of get out of jail card to get the tourism back to what it was pre-pandemic. Saudi nationals are allowed to travel to Thailand with a visa waiver now. Starting next month, Saudi Arabia's embassy there has said, amid improved links between both countries, Thai authorities have decided that starting July 9, Saudis are allowed to enter Thailand for 30 days without the need to get a visa. So I don't know if you're up on the history of what went on with Saudi and Thailand. There was a relationship breakdown, something to do with, I'm not going to get into it. You don't have to leave it in the comments, but you can go and research it on Google, but it was something to do with diamonds went missing. What a surprise in Thailand. But, the Saudis fell out with the Thais, or the Thais fell out with the Saudis, broke off all relationships. I remember years ago, actually, on that subject, in Patti, you'd walk around, and there used to be a lot of Saudi guys in their full, the white thing that they wear, I forget, is it called a dish dash with a black thing? And they'd wear them. Well, you think about it, hot country, it's probably very comfortable. There used to be a lot, and they'd have their own areas. And I'll tell you where their area was, a clump of bars that they like to hang out is. As you go into Walking Street from the beach road, where the van is, where the tourist police are, so you come in from that end, go right to the very end, past the Marina Disco on the right, the escalators there, the Thai boxing, right to the end, till you can go no further. And the last clump of bars on the left before you walk out onto the main road. That used to be a kind of Arab area, and you'd see they had them bubbling pipes, and you'd see the tigers on them as well. You know, very, very strange thing to see. So they're coming back, right? The Chinese are coming back. The Saudis are coming back. 6 major tourism operators have said they could woo some 450,000 Russian tourists to visit Thailand this year. Excuse me, it's a beer. But the lack of direct flights could instead drive them to visit Vietnam and the Middle East. I thought all bets were off with Russia for the moment. So we've got the Chinese coming in, we've got the Saudis coming in, and possibly the Russians a little bit later on in the year. Okay. Right. Damon says, when you go to Thailand, soon you will visit Buriram. Yeah, like I said to you, Damon, I will visit Buriram, but not until I'm living there. I don't want to go up there when I'm on holiday. It's about 10 hours, isn't it? Right. Gemini says the Thai government is bending backwards for the Saudis. It's shameful. I don't know enough about it. Gemini Star. I just read that you know that the relations have improved. So I don't know what the deal is now. I'll perhaps going to have a look just for my own, you know, for myself tomorrow. Right, Danny P. Thank you. I appreciate that. Love the stories. YouTuber Bangkok Pat is right up your street. Talking about history of Bangkok. Pat and I, we're very much different. Pat's a friend of mine. I met him when I was in Thailand. We did a couple of videos together. He had to take, I've said this many, many times, he had to disable the comments on the video when he interviewed me because he's got a pretty straight-laced crowd, a lot of them, and they were kind of disgusted that he brought a monger onto his channel, i.e. me, even though I'm not a monger because I was married. And but yeah, I watched his, he's got a video out today, you know, entertainment, but you won't see Bangkok Pat doing any kind of mongering videos. It's just not his style. He was doing some, he put a video out called Entertainment in Thailand, and it was more, he was doing all the kind of like tapple bars, bars were live bands, that sort of thing. You know, he'll never do the Nana Plaza and Soy Cowboy, maybe the odd one, but you know, he's not that sort of guy. Right, Cruiser, Florida. Peter, renting in Jomtien Beach. How far is that from Walker Street by taxi? It's only about 15 minutes. If you're living in Jomtien, there's a good point and there's a bad point. First of all, Jomtien is totally out the shit of the main area of Pattaya. And what I mean by that, if you go there on a holiday vacation, 2-3 weeks a month, then you want to be in the shit. You want to get drunk every night. You want to go around all the bars. But when you live there, it kind of gets a little bit much, and you might only want to do it 1 or 2 nights a week. And Jomtien's nice because it's much cleaner. It's much more relaxed. There are some nice bars in that area. There's a lot of nice restaurants. It's just it's you know, it's like pulling the reins in on a horse. It's a lot more laid back. I love Jomtien. It's a great place. You know, but you can get a BART bus 15 minutes. I wouldn't recommend drinking and driving on going on a motorbike because you can't pay your way anymore. You know, you will get arrested and you will go in front of court and you will get a 5,000 baht fine and you might spend the weekend in jail. But in answer to your question, about 15 minutes away. The only problem, that's a good point about Jomtien. The only problem is if you're in as a single guy, divorced guy, whatever, you live on your own and you think, well, I'll have a night and watch TV tonight. I don't want to go out. And you're sitting there and you open a bottle of something, you're having a couple of drinks, you're watching a film. It gets to about an hour and you start thinking, oh, I wonder if that girl's in that bar on Soy 7 tonight. And I'm not going out tonight, but yeah, I liked her. I'll go see her on Saturday. And you watch 10 more minutes of the movie. And you start thinking again, you think, oh, you know, I could just do, no, I'm just Tuesday. I said I wouldn't go. And by the time you're halfway through the movie and you've had, you know, a few shots of whiskey or vodka, whatever, you think, sod it. You know, you jump up, you jump in a BART bus and you're out all night. That's the only bad thing about it. Right. Okay, thanks for that. Gemini Star. Let's just say not yet. Okay, because I'll be married. Right, Steve P. Flying to Manila tonight. This live stream helps me get more excited for the trip. Yeah, I've been to Manila. It was good, but it was a long time ago. Cheers, I'm on the whiskey now. Right, let's. Good crowding tonight. Again, 423. If you've just joined us, welcome. I get this every week. Neil McFarquhar. This is a joke. Somebody winding me up. What's a monger? Let's make it really simple. It's a guy who goes to Thailand and he doesn't go there for temples and he's not looking for a permanent girlfriend. All right. Right. MJM. Peter, which of the lovely young ladies behind you would you choose to spend more time with? Well, you're talking about personal choice. I would say they're a little bit. Because they're kind of like, I reckon they're 30 plus, aren't they? It's difficult. None of them are my sort None of them are really my. I mean, they're not ugly, are they? But then none of them sort of do it for me. Let's see if I've got something that would do it for me. I'll just put this up for a second. Right, that would do it for me. Okay. Well, any really, but especially that one. I'll leave that there for a while. Right. Let me say thank you to Stephen 4X again. Evening, Peter. Handsome man. Yeah, handsome man. Yeah, thank you, Stephen. Very generous of you. Damon, Peter, Thailandbound, get yourself to the telephone box on the dark side. Yeah, well, maybe I'll meet up with you down there, Damon. You can show me around all those sort of places. Disgusting. As a married man, of course, I haven't frequented those sort of places. Okay, Black Bolt, I'm sure it's a coincidence. The relationships improved just when fuel prices are sky high. Yeah, possibly. Do you know what there was a guy, I won't name him or anything. It wasn't his fault, but I got a bit cheesed off in the week because I don't know, you might not realize this because when you listen to the stories, they run for half an hour and that's it. And you probably think they take me half an hour. But what I do, because I like to get them out for the silver and gold members on a Tuesday. And then, so what I have to do is I have to prepare them over the weekend. So tomorrow, Saturday, I will spend probably from when I come back walking my dog, probably from about, make a cup of tea and all that, 10:30 till about 4, I will be editing. Okay. It does take me that long. And I put them in a format. So I have to take out slang. I have to write them in a way where a global audience will understand them, make some words simpler. And it does take me most of the day. So I've got it ready to read. Okay. I'll put it onto an auto prompter. Sunday I come into the office. I've got an online auto prompter. I set it all up. I've got some lighting, get the old camera going. I'm ready. I record it and I have to edit it a lot because when you listen to it, it comes out smooth, 30 minutes of talking. It's not like that in real life. I'm farting, I'm burping, I'm making mistakes, and I have to cut all that out. It takes all day to do it. And I did one last week, and it was 4 stories. And you'll see when it's released in the morning. So hopefully this will answer your questions. Some of the members will have watched it already. But for most of you guys, the stories will be released in the morning. And you'll hear me say at the beginning of the stream, I've got 4 great stories for you today. Well, I haven't. I've got 3. And the reason being, I did have 4. I had it all prepared, uploaded it, got it all up. I put it up for the members, and this one guy wrote to me and said, you know what, do yourself a favor and do me a favor and drop that story because there's too many details. She might know me and all that. And I'm thinking, do myself a favor. Do you know how much work I put into that video? And what I had to do is, luckily, it was the last story, and I was able to go into YouTube and edit it out. But when you watch the stories tomorrow, you'll see a very abrupt ending between the 3rd story and when I say, right, that's it, guys, thank you. I'll see you next week or whatever. Because normally it'll fade out quite nicely, a little bit of chit chat. But I went to all that work and it was like, oh, do yourself a favor, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, just cut that story. And I'm like, what? Are you joking? And I had to go in there and I'll be honest with you, I'm saying it in a nice way. I was pissed off. I was really pissed off. And then he wrote to me again and he said, look, I'm going to elaborate on that story and make it better and less easy for her to spot me. And I just wrote back to him today. I said, look, don't be offended, but please don't send me it. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to run the risk of I do it all again. And then next time you say the same thing, because it's not on really, is it? Right. Right. Well, I've changed the picture now, so I don't know if it's this one or the other one. Simon Mays, hi, Peter, loving the girl on the far left. So let me put that other one back up because this is an old picture. I've showed it a few times. Right, so when you say the far left, is that your left or my left? Do you mean her? Why am I pointing at the screen? You can't see. Do you mean her or her? Right. Okay, there's your answer, Neil McFakwa. Okay. Right, a sensible question now. David Kierman. Steve P, have you done the online health? Yeah, sensible question, but not for me to read it. It's for someone else. Right, luxury vegan travel again. Peter, you've just described me exactly like that. I open a bottle of whiskey, start drinking, and then think, okay, I need to head out and don't come home till 7 a.m. And do you know how I know that, luxury vegan travel? I presume you got a YouTube channel. I'm sure a few people will mosey on over to you and watch it. But I know that. Let me just have a quick slurp on this. Because that's exactly what used to happen to me, right? I used to live on, when I was in Bangkok, I had several different addresses over the years, but one of them I was in Soi 24. I was in an apartment building about a third of the way down called Sahai. Was it called Sahai House or Sahai Building? I think it was called Sahai Building. Just not a high story, but it was a lovely apartment actually. And I'd be sitting there, and I'd say, well, I'm not. I said to my wife, I'm not going out tonight. And she was very trusting with me. You know, she knows I didn't get up to anything. I used to go out and drink a lot actually. And I'd be sitting there, and she's an early. We had young children at the time, and she used to go to bed real early, like when I'd say early, 10 o'clock. And even if I didn't go out, I didn't go to bed till 1 o'clock. You know, and I'd have a drink, I'd watch. They had good movie packages out there, and that used to happen to me. I'd think, well, I'm not going out. I'd strip down to my shorts, be sitting there, get a good film up, good movie on whatever it was they have it in Thailand. I'd be watching it, and I'd be sitting there watching it, be having a drink, and I'd be thinking, like I just said earlier, and like you've just confirmed, you know, you get to the point, you have a few drinks, you think, I could be in Nana Plaza in 15 minutes. That's really hard to resist, guys. It's really hard. Right. Have you noticed to keep the Ladyboy competition to near the end now? Because, you know, nice, good crowd in now. But as soon as I put that on, I lose a lot of people. You might ask, well, why do you still do it? I do it because a lot of people still like it. Right. I'm just trying to find... Right. Brian, what's up here? All the way from Florida. How you doing, Brian? Nice to have you in. Charles Sanders, Pete, the girl above your left shoulder is top tier. So that's my left shoulder, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is, yeah. Oh, you're talking about her. She looks filthy, doesn't she? Not in an unclean way. Right. Right, Dutch Frank says, Peter needs to translate your emails from British English to USA. Oh, actually, something that came up and I didn't realize. My book, you know, I got this book out. Well, it was most of the stories are from, I'd say 80% of the stories in the book are from English guys, right? And there's a little bit of slang in there. And some guy wrote to me from America and he said, I've just bought your book. He said, I'm about a quarter of the way in. And he said, I can't understand any of this English slang. And I had to say to the guy, look, you know, apologies. They're not my stories. Just go to Amazon and refund it. I don't know whether he did or not. And thank you to any guys who left write-ups on Amazon, because I thought, you know, with the trolls and stuff that come on the channel, I thought people are going to go in there and stick the boot in and say, I bought the book, then used it as toilet paper. But I've had some really, really nice reviews from people, you know, and, you know, if you're one of those guys who left me a nice review, thanks for that, because that makes a lot of difference. I probably sold about, I was having a look today. I'm not going to hit any bestseller awards, that's for sure, because it's only on Amazon. There's thousands of sellers. But I think I've sold about 54 books now in about 7 weeks. So I'm not going to get rich from it, but it's, you know, it's just nice to say you've had a book out, isn't it? Right, Damon again. Peter, on your next live stream, is there any chance if your dog can be on your stream? Absolutely no chance, Damon. Can he be on your stream on for a minute? Make him famous, and would love to see him. No, it wouldn't work like that, Damien. He's like, I'd have to go and get him, sit and people be thinking, what a simp that guy is, putting his dog on the live stream. And then I'd have to leave everyone where I put him in and he'd start barking, thinking it's dinner time. Nice thought, but I'll be honest with you, no. Shane Old Traveller says, the girl in the middle is stunning. Yeah, she's not young though, is she? She's not young. I mean, I'm not saying I'm into young girls. I'm obviously not. But you know, they hold their age. Jeffrey Peterson, if you're watching this, good evening to you, sir. Right. Let's have a look. Where are we? That put me off there. It's a YouTuber in Jump Team, funny enough. Right, Clive, drunky drunk. Already? We've only been going for an hour and a half. Mark, all of them complete mingers. Oh, you got high standard. You got high standards, then, Mark. Okay. Okay. Let's change it then, because there's a bit of a controversy on this one. I'll have to put on one that you've seen before. Oh, this has always been the favorite. This one. Right. So we'll leave that up for a while. Which one do you think I'm talking about? I think it's obvious, isn't it? Right. Okay. Right, Ben. Bangkok, you changed your picture, Ben. Bangkok Pat has done videos on the history of Soy Cowboy, Nan and Pat Ball. Well, I'll tell you how I know he's done a video on the history of Soy Cowboy, because I happened to be in Soy Cowboy. He grabbed me and he says, look who I bumped into in Soy Cowboy. And it was me. So I know I was wearing sunglasses. It was in the daytime. We did the interview shortly after that. Right, Troy Nelson, I can see on that screen, not on this screen. Thank you, Troy. Let me put that up. That'll be going straight to the beer fund. Cheers. Right, I'm going to leave people talking about them pictures. I'm going to leave this one up for a while because she's in a good, happy mood, isn't she? Right. Okay. Don't mention that name. Let me just go back on that. Hi, Randy. How you doing? Nice to see you in. Right, I'm just looking for. No, I missed it. JB, how are you? I haven't said hello to you tonight. Let's get ready to rumble. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, it won't be a late one tonight, JB. I really do have to take my daughter. I haven't been taking her to work for a few weeks, but I have to take her in the morning. Hence why I'm going to give her my car as a graduation present because I'm fed up of it, having to get up. Right. Okay. Charles, you're saying the picture with 3 girls. Okay, got it. Troy, thanks for that. It's nice, when you get trolls and haters in and they talk shit to you, every now and again you get a nice compliment like that. It kind of makes you feel good because you think, well, they're not, there are some nice people out there. I do appreciate it. I'm not just saying that. Pelly, start. Oh no, I'm not going to put that up. Oh, that'll be exciting, won't it? I will put it up. Yeah, that'll be really exciting. Make sure you don't miss that. Black Bolt says Jeffrey Peterson has some lovely friends. Yeah. Well, we interviewed each other. When I was in Thailand, I banged out about 15 videos in 3 weeks. And Jeffrey, who's a YouTuber in Jumptian, he's come up really, really fast, something like 3,000 subscribers a month. That is really good. But he does a lot of interviews with the girlies and the bars and stuff. He does a bit of rapping as well. But I interviewed him when I was in Jumptian, and he actually interviewed me for his stream. It's all content, isn't it? A nice guy. Right. Jos Sanchez. Always love the content, Peter. Have a good one. I'm looking forward to getting back out to Thailand because I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing now. But of course, when I'm in Thailand, I can add to the channel, can't I? Because I'm going to be doing it full time. Like I said to you last week, let me just put up Simon's super chat there as well. £1 there for a beer. Thank you, Simon. It's like I said to you last week. I'll just keep it going as it is, but I'll be able to add lots of different stuff when I'm out there. No, I was going to say one thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you because somebody else will go off and do it. It's probably been done already, but not on my channel. David, Peter, you be in Thailand for New Year's Eve. I can't, unfortunately, David, because although my wife and myself are separating, we've still got, even if I went out there to live, I'd still come back for Christmas because I've got 2 daughters, haven't I? And, my wife and I are separating on good terms. I'm taking care of her, so everything's set up, and I want to come home and have Christmas dinner with my family, my 2 daughters and my wife, because there's no hard feeling. And I am their dad after a while. I am their dad after all. And I just think it's important. I'll live my life out there. They'll have their lives here. But we're all partners, friends. And, they'll come out to Thailand to visit me, my 2 daughters. And, I'll come back for a week for Christmas dinner and spend some time with them. Why not? So New Year's Eve, I don't think so, no. But possibly, I might go for Christmas. And there's a long period between Christmas and New Year's Eve, isn't there? So possibly. Scott Thomas. How about a guide or overview for a first visit to Bangkok? Rocco, Scott, I've done it. If you have a look on a few recent videos I've done 30 essential tips if you're visiting Thailand for the first time, and that's followed up by a volume 2. So there's 60 tips, and most of them are tips to enhance your trip. They're not like, oh, watch out for gem scams and watch out for. There's 1 or 2 of them in there, but if you haven't seen it and you need a bit of guidance, if you haven't been there before, go and watch them. They're about 40 minutes long. There's loads of information in there. Mark Hanley, thank you, mate. Support you have hours of entertainment on Friday. Never see regulars, but a super chat in mention. No names. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mark. Well, he's got some. Thanks, Dutch Rain, but he's got some pretty good content for himself, hasn't he? You don't get to 20,000 subscribers by, one interview on somebody else's channel. Thanks, Pelly. Javier, right? Okay, what you saying now? Thai girls always look younger than they actually age. I meet a lot of stunning good. Do you know, it's really weird. Everybody says that, but you think about it realistically. You know, you meet like a 50-year-old girl in Thailand, they still look good. 50 years old. You know, you look at them and yeah, okay, you can see she's not a young girl, but they look good. A lot of them, not all of them. But you know, I don't want to be derogatory to women in England, but a 50-year-old woman in England, you don't look. No, I won't go there because I do have females watch this channel. And ladies, if you watched that and you heard that, no disrespect to you, but Thai girls, they do age better because of their. Did I get out of that one, guys? Did I pull myself out of the shit? Right. Okay. Right. We're really going downhill now. She had a hairy muff. I do like the hairy stuff. Your daughter's fit. It's a little bit disrespectful there, so I'm going to put you on a timeout. That's not a very good thing to relate when I'm talking about my daughters, is it? Right. JB, Peter, has anyone ever been told? What have they been told? I don't know. Write it again, but with a full question. Okay, you got it here, right? Right, Peter, has anyone ever told you that you look like Pierce Bronson? No, as James Bond. Maybe the next Bond girl could be a ladyboy with a small member as an automatic weapon. I don't know if that's an insult either or a compliment. No, they used to say a little bit like Ricky Gervais. I couldn't see it myself, but that's what they used to say. Right. Right. Yours travels again. Right. Question for everyone. Am UK XX in t-shirts? Do the market sell clothes for us a little overweight guy? Well, that's a bit of a problem, Yoss. I know what you mean by a little bit overweight. A common phrase you'll hear in Thailand when you go shopping is free size, right? And it's absolutely rubbish. What they define as free size is it fits anybody. So you buy a t-shirt, you say, have you got this in large? They'll say free size, fits everyone. And it's crap. Yeah, it is an issue, you know, buying clothes in Thailand if you're a big guy. I'm 6'1". I'm 6'1". Let me just say thank you to Damon. I'll get back into that comment. It hasn't come up on here yet. Thanks, Damon. Thanks for your hard work, matey. Friday evening is great for us all here in Bangkok next month. Let's hope so, Damon. Let's hope so. And thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate that. So clothes. Let me give you a bit of advice about Thailand. If you're staying there for any length of time, and I think you are, yours travels, the MBK Centre, I don't know, but pre-COVID, on one of the upper levels, they used to have a clothes shop, and it was called something like the Big Man or Four Big Men or something like that. And that guy specialised in, you know, your T-shirts and your shorts. They were for bigger guys. He was for Western guys or Arabs, I don't know, but they weren't typical Thai size. He only bought in quite large attire, clothes, you know. So if you're one of those guys, you live in Bangkok, you can't find any big clothes, it's worth going to the MBK Centre. And I think it's pretty much on it's either the food court's on the 5th, isn't it? But then there's 2 food courts in MBK Centre. So it possibly the 3rd. It's not on the ground floor, that I can guarantee. 3rd or 4th floor. But yeah, you go around all the markets, you know, all the clothes markets. I tell you where it's good if you want T-shirts where you will get your size. Pat Pong Market, because they're dealing mainly in foreigners, so they get the bigger sizes. Sometimes on Sukhumvit Road, you'll see a few stores. You'll get decent size, but if you go to your typical Thai market, very difficult to get your size. Very difficult. Okay. Oh, it's only a little one. You put, what kind of car do you have, Peter? I can tell if your daughter will be happy for her. No, she is happy with it. I'm not just name dropping here. I used to have, it wasn't a new one. Okay. So Mark Hadley, thank you for the super chat. You came in one week and said, Peter looks middle class. He's got a few £100,000 hiding away. I haven't. I'm not rich. I used to have a BMW X5. That was a beautiful, beautiful car. Lovely to drive. Glad I haven't got it now with the cost of fuel. I got a filling. I bought a car from a salvage yard. So it had been written off by the insurance company, but it was what they call a Cat C. So as long as it was repaired in the right way, it could be put back on the road. And I saved about £3,000 on that. And it's a Skoda Fabia, right? That's a smaller than the Octavia or the Rapide. It's a 1.2 turbo. It goes like shit off a shovel. It's amazing. But it's a small car, but it's £20 a year to tax, £50 to fill the tank up. It'll do about 60 miles to the gallon. Fantastic now. And it's only done 29,000 miles because it had been involved in an accident. Totally safe. I had it all repaired properly. It was a £5,000 car that I got for about 3,000. It's done 20,000 miles now, 1.2. It's white, so you know young girls like that color, and it's very, very nice. It's got DAB radio, it's got air conditioning, it's got parking sensors. It's 4-door. It's got electric windows. For you know, she's had a license for 3 years, but then she went to uni. She was very lucky that she was able to take a test before COVID, but she hasn't driven for 3 years. So I'm getting her some. I'm paying for some lessons now, just to, you know, I don't want to put her out on the road. You know, she hasn't driven. So expensive now, £35 an hour for the lessons. So hopefully 6 lessons and she'll have the car. I'm going to do the first year's insurance for her because she'll struggle. She only got a part-time job at the moment. And then hopefully if she doesn't have any accidents, then next year that insurance will come back down. But perfect little car for a little Skoda Fabia, 1.2, £20 a year to tax. Can't say fairer than that. And she's going to be thrilled to bits, isn't she? You know, nobody gave me a car, but then I didn't graduate university. I left school when I was 15 and I went straight into a steelworks because I had to earn money to pass on to my mother, you know, because my father passed away early. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just saying it was different times as it is now. Right, JB, I'm back on the rooftop shouting out, "Ladyboys, I'm ready to blow." Too much information. And we've still got a Ladyboy competition to go. And we've got the Texan Ladyboy as well. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me answer that one. Hello, can you get Russian girls in Thailand? My first question would be back at you. Why would you want to? Yeah, you can. You can. I mean, there are some beautiful Russian women around the world. They're not in Pattaya. Not really. I mean, you go down Walking Street and it's like you'll see them. They're outside. It's like they advertise. They don't call themselves Russian. They call themselves European. There's a place in Walking Street that says European girls. You see them dancing. I haven't been into one of those sort of places because I've heard they're just rip-off joints, you know, overpriced drinks, overpriced girls, everything like that. But in answer to your question, the short answer, yes, you can. If that's what floats your boat and you just want to try it, you can, but take a nice big thick wallet, okay? You're not going to do it on the cheap. Right. I've been asked this many times and I've said it many times. It's a Tilak bar in Soy Cowboy. What's your favorite bar? I like the Tilak bar. It's a go-go bar and it's a bar outside. It's just, I like it. Right, Joe Sanchez again. Peter, my name is Spanish, so the J sounds like a H. It's pronounced Jose. What did I say? Jose. Okay, Jose. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? Espero que esté has tenido un viaje. Okay, I've made up for it now. Right, let's go to Mr. Shackleton, who's been very generous tonight. Right, thank you for the super chat. Peter, you are I thought you were going to say a terrible Spanish speaker. Peter, you are a reliable, what is that? Relectable, I can't, what is that? You are a, oh, relatable. So I've had a whiskey now. You're a relatable guy to someone like me and many more. We are not all mongers. I'll be going, giving your book at Christmas presents this year. Oh, thank you, Paul. Very kind of you. I do appreciate it. I keep saying I do appreciate it, but I really do. And thank you for the super chat. How long we've been going now? Nearly 2 hours. Right. Okay. I didn't see Harold Bishop in, but apparently he's in. Slimmer version of Harold Bishop. Peter, I'm only joking, fella. I've got total respect for you and would love to have a drink with you. Oh, I'm a slimmer version of Harold Bishop. Harold's a nice guy. He's always in here. I don't see him in here tonight, but no, I don't get offended by that. I have put a bit of weight back on. I lost 23 kilos last winter. I was motivated. I was going back out to Thailand. It's been a miserable winter of discontent here in the UK, at least. What with COVID and all the restrictions and the gloom and the misery. What else do you do? You know, you gorge yourself on food, don't you? Not gorge yourself, but, you know, and I've put a bit of weight on, but, you know, Thailand bound I will be. And when I live out there, I'll be hitting the gym with a vengeance and I'll be cutting down my food. Right. I'm not reading that one out, Paul. Right. Jose. Is that it? Jose. I find when I'm out in Southeast Asia, I lose a lot of weight. The heat combined with more active lifestyle melts a lot of that. Yeah, and the other thing is you don't eat a lot of bread and stuff like that, do you? I mean, you've got rice noodles, but I was talking to, I don't know if he's still watching, a friend I've met in London, a guy called Bob. He actually said when he was eating only Thai food, and he actually lost weight. He wasn't on a diet, but he lost weight because, like you quite rightly said, it's hot. You move about a bit more, and you know, you do lose the weight, but then you drink more. It depends what you drink, doesn't it? I'm a beer drinker. I do like a topple of whiskey, which I'll just have a cheeky one here on the side that you can't see for later. Well, what can I say? It's Friday night. Dutch Frank, Skoda is a cabbie car. Do you know what? You are, yes and no. The Skoda Octavia is the biggest. All the taxi companies use a Skoda Fabia because they're very the Skoda Octavia because they are very reliable. They're very economic, and they're very, very good cars. I just happened to get the Fabia, not because I went to a showroom and chose it. That was what was in the salvage yard at the time, and it looked okay. It's been a great car. I went up to see Dave the Rave when he first came back. He's up in. He was up in. Oh, where is it? Not Filey. I can't remember, but way up north, 350-mile round trip, and I think I used £35 worth of diesel. Right, let me just say thank you to Tommy Keeley. Enjoying your shows, Peter, and thanks. Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it. I keep saying that to everybody, but I really do. I don't know any other way to sort of show my appreciation other than to say that. Paul Shackleton, you'll say that as well. Cabbies only choose good cars. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it. Let me do a cheers for you, Tommy. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful beer. Look, I do this every week. You've got to try it, guys. Oldie, look, obviously the design is a rip-off of Stella, right? But Stella wouldn't get a look in with this. It's fantastic beer, fantastic. And only £2.99 for 4. Sound like I work for Aussie, or work for Tesco's. Oldie, I keep talking about Tesco's. What is it with me and Tesco's tonight? Right, Yoss Travels. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that again. I know I keep saying it, but I do. Right, you and Ed are kind of like your favorite uncle to me. Loads of great info and straight. Do you know what? Ed is a good friend of mine. I'd like to class him as a good friend. I think he's a good friend. He actually wrote to me last night and he asked my advice on something, which actually kind of I thought was quite nice. It's a private matter. I don't want to say what it is, but he actually sent me a text out of the blue and he said, I don't want to give it away, but he asked me something. He said, "What do you think?" And I told him what I thought. I give him my honest answer, but I thought that's quite nice that Ed trusts me enough to ask me a question. And actually, with that thing that happened last Sunday, which I'm not going to get into, Ed spoke to me about that as well. And I think what Ed told me was right. You know, me and the other guy involved both kind of got our knickers in a twist, kind of jumped a little bit too fast. You know, I was upset and I let everyone know I was upset. Not upset, but, you know, I said a few things I shouldn't have said. He went off and retaliated with a video, which was a pretty stupid video, but he did. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But with Ed, yeah, the thing with Ed, when I do I've done a live stream with a few people in the past, but with Ed, it just seems like it's very natural. You know, I know that if I'm with Ed, I can just say, Ed, take over. I'm going for a pee or something. And he does. When I host the live stream, you know, he's got no control of it, but he can work off the comments just by reading them. So, yeah, he's good. And I'm trying to do the last Sunday of every month with Ed, but it's sometimes really hard to pin him down. I tried to get him to do last week, and he didn't want to do it because he's away, and fair enough. But that's why I did the stream by myself on Sunday, and it was a damn good stream last Sunday, actually. But I will try and press gang him into another one. And if he doesn't come in, you know, put the pressure on, guys. Write to him and tell him, get on that live stream with Peter, or else we'll come around your house in Bournemouth or wherever he lives and beat you up. Not Bournemouth. Where does he live? Exeter somewhere, isn't it? Right. Craig M. Hi, Peter. Try lemon water for weight loss. It has so many benefits. You will be surprised. Love the chat. Right. Now, when you say that, Craig, do you mean carry on eating and drinking what you're doing, but if you drink lemon water on top of it, you'll lose it? Or are you saying stop drinking beer, stop eating, but drink lemon water and then you'll lose the weight? Because if that's what you're saying, no, I can't. I lost 23 kilos having a couple of cans of beer every night. I know I'm kind of joking, but I'd love to know the answer to that. Is the lemon water kind of like, you know, you can carry on eating? Mike says, what do you think of girls from where? Where is that? Pai Mai? Is where? I don't even know where that is, Mike. Show my ignorance now. I'm sure they're very, very beautiful. Right, okay. Red Fox 916 again. What's the purpose of the likes for YouTube? Is there benefits to getting more likes, enjoying the show? I suppose let me try and answer that in a sensible way because there is no definite answer. So the thing about the likes, in the early days of YouTube, you could do a thumbs down or you could do a thumbs up. And I guess the idea about it was if you were just surfing and looking for videos and you were looking for, say, how to put up a garden fence, and you found a video, how to put up a garden fence, you opened it up and it had 3 thumbs up and 50 thumbs down, immediately think, well, it's not a good video because look at all the thumbs down, right? On the other side of the coin, if the same thing happened, but it had 50 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down, you think, all right, this is a kiddie, I'll watch this one. But now YouTube have taken away the thumbs down. So you can leave a thumbs down, but it doesn't show up. So if you're like one of those nasty sort of haters who just go on a channel because you don't like a person and thumbs down him and you haven't even watched his video, because I get that. You'll notice on my uploads, the stories, anything I do, as soon as I put it out there, they don't even have time to watch it. It's up for 10 seconds. And the same two guys, and I think I know who one of them is at least, thumbs down every time. And that, I think that was the original reason. But now that you can't see the thumbs down, I think it's just a way of telling the person who's made the video that you like the video, you appreciate the video, and that's your way of, you can't talk to the guy. Somebody watch that video and think, you know, that guy's made a great video, I really enjoyed them stories, I'll call him up tomorrow and tell him. Well, they can't, can they? But giving me a thumbs up tells me the same thing. So I suppose that's what it's, I hope that answers in a sort of sensible way. Right, I'm going to forget to call you Jose next week, you know, so remind me again. Right, I'm glad you and Ed have developed a good friendship. I find it really hard to develop friendships in my 30s with locals, but very easy with expats and drivers. Well, do you know what you do? This is the same for everybody. I don't have, I wouldn't say any. I don't have many friends in the UK because I was abroad for so many years. But, you know, it is very difficult to meet friends. It is in England. I don't know what it's like in sort of Australia and America. But I'll give you an example. If I was feeling a bit lonely, I was on my own, I thought, well, I'll go to a local pub in town. I sat there on the bar. Some guy was sitting there, and I tried to strike up a conversation with him. He wouldn't want to know. And the same for me. I wouldn't want to know because I think, well, why is he talking to me? Is he a scammer? Is he trying to get a free drink? Because that's how your mindset is, isn't it? Here and a lot of other countries. But you know, he's dead now. I met my best friend in Thailand, who I went out with for about 5 nights out of every 7 for about probably 5 years. He became my best friend, and I met him because I decided to go to Lucky Luke's for a drink at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I lived on Soi 4, and he had a book, How to Write HTML, okay? And I was making websites through program. I couldn't write HTML. And I was at the bar, and I just said to the guy, I said, why have you got a book on HTML? Now, if that was the UK, I'd say get stuff, mind your own business. But he explained it, and I said, well, you don't need to learn HTML. There's software. At the time, it was Netscape. Remember Netscape? And I told him, and we got talking. Do you know what? This was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I said good night to him at 4 o'clock in the morning the following day, right? And he became my best friend. So on what you're saying, it's a different vibe, isn't it? You can go into a bar in Thailand, and people want to get friendly. They want to talk to you. You want to talk to them. And I've met a lot of people in Thailand before I had my YouTube channel, where you know you just be sitting at a bar, you get talking to someone, and they're great people. But you've got to be careful because a couple of videos I've made, you get these people, these fantasists. They're real fantasists, and you'll meet them. You'll know straight away. You'll meet them in Patty is the worst for it. Let me just get rid of this. I made a couple of videos. Cheers. You'll meet them in Pattaya, and they'll be wearing a wife-beaten vest with a Singer logo on it, or as Damon would say, Fly Emirates, you know, something like that. A pair of scruffy old shorts, maybe not flip-flops, maybe some sandals or something like that. And you'll be talking to them in the bar, and they'll come out with these, and I've had this so many times, they'll come out with these stories that are so fanciful, can't even get the word out now, they're so crazy stories that they can't be true. You know, I've had guys tell me that they were, they inherited millions, but they can't get their hands on the money for 6 weeks because it's in some special fund and it's going through the courts, but it's already been signed off and they will definitely get it. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's going through this elaborate story because he's a no-hoper, waster, who's got no money, and he wants me to buy him a beer. Now, if that guy had said, if that guy had said to me, if that guy started talking to me, but sat with me and had a bit of a conversation, and he said, "Do you know what?" He said, "I'd have a beer with you, but I don't want to ask you, but whatever." He said it in a nice way. I probably just said, "Have a beer." But you know, when they come out with these stories and they say things like, "Well, you know, I used to work for special forces and I'm still on call. You know, I was a bodyguard for I can't think of a name now. One of the presidents, Obama." Okay, I was a personal bodyguard for Obama, and I'm still on call. and I could be called at any minute, and the US would fly me out of Bangkok on a military jet because I am that, you know, specialized. Just total crap. You know, you'll get, if you haven't been to Pattaya before, most guys are okay, but you do get a lot of that down there. Pattaya attracts a funny crowd. You know, 99.9 of them are good guys, okay guys, but there's some strange people in Pattaya, some very strange people. And I keep saying Pattaya because that seems to attract them. Right, Elf, I never get that right, do I? I just call you Barmy Army. Right, you're talking to someone else. Right, let me put that back on again. Damien, remember, Peter, you only go round the roundabouts, not over them. A guy gave me a lift from a hospital, but did not know the way. I told him to go straight. Well, what that's about, I was filming. Damien said, where do you live? And I filmed it. I was driving. I was filming. Shouldn't have done it, really. And I got to a little mini roundabout. I just drove over it. And he was like, you're supposed to go round the roundabout. But it was quiet. Right, don't run off. We've been going for 2 hours. I'll keep it going for a bit. Like, it's not going to be a 4-hour stream, guys. But I've still got the Ladyboy competition. And what else have I got? So that. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Right. Oh, I'll tell you what I haven't done tonight. This only takes about 10 seconds. I've got 2 more of your favorite ladies here again.
Lovely golf weather today. Lovely golf weather today. Lovely golf weather today. The climax scene really got me. The climax scene really got me. The climax scene really got me. The climax scene really got me.
The climax scene really got to me. It's not just the girls, you know. It's not just the girls.
You look sensational in that dress. You look sensational in that dress. You look sensational in that dress. You look sensational in that dress.
Well, thank you kindly, sir. Right, okay, enough of that nonsense. Let's have a look. You look like police, that photograph. Well, what it is, I was doing the tourist bit because I was in China. I was in Beijing in 1987, I believe it was. And obviously being in Beijing, I went to look at the palace, you know, where they, what was the film? The Last Emperor. That was out about the same time. So we went to the Forbidden City, it's called. And one of the things you do, you go to the Great Wall, and when you're on the Great Wall, you can pay. I can't remember how much. Let's just say today's money. You can pay £5, and they rent you this uniform, and it looks good in a photograph. But when you wear it, it's the most minging, smelly, bug-ridden thing you could ever put on your body. Look, I mean, it looks all right, doesn't it? But it's you know, with a fake gun there, and you know, it's a photograph. I look back on that with a smile on my face, and you know, I think, what have I done since that to now? And it's, you know, it's a memory, as is that with Chaka Khan. Right, okay, let's have a look. Crypto Rocketeer, hi, good to have you in. Good evening. Yeah, nice to see you. Welsh 32, was that you, Peter? It was me, believe it or not. It was me. I know it's unbelievable looking at me now. Chang, big elephant. Right. Cohort 61. Ask them what color the boat house is that gets them every time. Right. Ben, Dutch Frank, if the snatch is that wide, where is this going? Okay. Yeah, I mean, they didn't give me a uniform just as a soldier. It had to be like a 5-star general, didn't it? Looking at 29 or whatever it was. Right, cohort 61. My son had a soldier picture in China when he was 6. So cute. You just rent the uniform, don't you? It's good. Thank you, Pete Bailey, an oldie for you, mate. Yeah, thank you, Will. And I might as well pour one now while you're giving me an excuse. Do you know those 4-hour streams I do? I actually watched one of them in their entirety. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do any more 4-hour ones, because by the 3rd hour, I was actually slurring. and I can actually feel myself starting to go now. So, you know, when I start getting a bit naughty, you'll have to let me know. But we've still got the Ladyboy competition. That's the main thing. Okay, let's see what's going on. Right, yeah, thank you, Micah. I won't say it, but you know what I'm going to say. Okay, Nick. Where did that come from? Mike 8134. Okay, thank you for that, because I didn't know, and I probably pronounced it wrong, so I won't pronounce it again. Well, I actually lived in Khon Kaen for 2 years, believe it or not, so I should know that, shouldn't I? I'm talking to a girl from there online. Okay, watch some of my videos, please, Mike. I've got a really good video for you to watch. It's called what's it called now? I can't remember. Just go through them. There's a few good videos. What this video, the one I was going to say, is really good. You'll know when you see the title. It's self-explanatory, but it'll give you a lot of hints if it's a regular girl or she's kind of like a working girl pretending not to be a working girl. I'm sure she's fine. She's up in a village and all that, but you know, they're very good at what they do. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, that was the best one, wasn't it? I have a case of diarrhea. I've still got that. I haven't got it uploaded this week, but I've only got 1 or 2 left for next week. I'll finish on that one. I've got a bad case of diarrhea because that was the one that got it all set off for me. John Paul, thank you for that. Money for another beer. Give us all another hour, Peter. I love the show all the way from Poland. I don't know about an hour. I'll do a bit longer. How many we got in? We've still got over 400 in. I'm probably going to lose 50 when I do this. Normally at this point, I've got to make a decision because if I say goodnight, then that's it. It's okay. But I will stay for a while longer. But I've got to do this, guys. I really have. And I'm back. I sometimes with Ed, he doesn't put a card up, does he? He just sort of leaves the old chair swinging in the background. Maybe I should do that. I only lost 5 people when I went for a pee that time, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, cheers. Here we go. Keep it going for a while longer. I mean, let's face it. What else are you going to do on a Friday night? You could watch Netflix, but then you'd miss the Ladyboy competition, wouldn't you? Somebody said to me a few months ago, actually, they said, look, I've been watching your Ladyboy competition. It was really good, but it's getting a bit long in the tooth. You should knock it on the head now. It's getting a bit boring. So I stopped it for a few weeks, didn't I? And I had so many people come back and say, oh, I only come on the stream for the Ladyboy competition. I think what it is, it shocks people. Some of the Thai Ladyboys, you look at them, and I'm sure a lot of guys are not into it. Some of the guys who will say they're not, and vice versa. But, you know, even for me, I look at them sometimes, I think, really? Is that a guy? You know, I told you quite a long time ago, we've got a guy here where I live in Northamptonshire. He's, I suppose you could class him as a lady. What would you call him? He just dresses up in girls' clothes. Let's call him a lady boy. And he looks like the Yorkie advert, you know, stubble. And anyway, let me just say hello to the lovely Francesca. Good morning. Going to Sayuk National Park, Canterbury. I was there in December, actually. Went to the bridge on the River Kwai as well. That was good. For the weekend with my family, starting off from Bang Buthong on all the tourists from the UK. So yeah, it's nice to see you in again, Francesca. Haven't seen you for a while. I guess you're it's quite early for you or quite late, but yeah, good to see you. It's been a few months since we last seen you. And have a good weekend when you go off to the where you going? Sayuk National Park. Probably said that wrong, but yeah, nice to see you in the stream again. Right, JB, you can come round and water my daisies anytime you want, Peter. Just don't contribute to the compost. I like that. I like that. It's quite clever. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't contribute to the compost here. I haven't got any, but if I did have, believe it or not, guys, that's something I was into in a big way. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Looking at this channel, what I talk about and everything. I used to be a very keen gardener, as in growing my own vegetables. And people used to say, oh, you save loads doing that. You don't. It costs you more than going to the supermarket. But what you get out of it, you have a patch of land, which is brown, dirt, nothing on it. You buy some seeds, you grow them on the windowsills in December when it's frosty outside, plant them, tender them. And by July, August, you can't see the dirt. Fantastic, fantastic. I'll give it up now because I just haven't got the time. But that was a hobby of mine. Matthew Cartwright, come on, guys, we need Peter to go. I'm not doing 4 hours, Matthew. You're the sort of guy who incites riots, and I will not be pulled in. Right, John Paul, you weren't a union leader at any time in your life, were you, Matthew? You weren't like there with Coburn in the back. No, he's not called Coburn, is he? What's his name? Right, John Paul. So I will ask the chat, any good sea movies? I watched City of Ghosts last night, set in Cambodia. Loved it. Please recommend more movies. Well, I don't know any, John Paul. I like all these the sort of movies I watch. I like things like Goodfellas, Casinos, the Shawshank Redemption. I don't really like sci-fi too much, but America did show quite a good series called the Oreo? A kind of like later version of Star Trek, completely different, but I got into that for a while. Right, Barmy Army. LB competitions are awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. I'm glad you enjoy them. I'm kind of holding back on it a little bit now. A few people are starting to go to bed now. I'm really impressed because I've held over 400 in tonight. It's gone down to 393 now. People said I worry about the numbers. I don't worry about them. I just like to know who's in. You know, I like to know that people aren't getting bored out of their minds. And thank you so much for the super chat. Knock, I don't know what currency that is. Give the LBs thanks for the stream. Okay, thanks. But whatever it is, as always, very greatly appreciated. Only in Thailand. My Thai girlfriend Buffalo was sick. Yeah, she said there is nothing the vet can do. I said why. She replied that the buffalo's horns would not fit through the vet's door. All right, that one's grown a beard. Right, Mark. About Bleeding Time Peak, Cronenberg. I've gone off the Cronenberg, Mark. I've gone off it. You know, like I tell you, I swore blindly that Cronenberg was the best beer on the planet. But honest to God, that from Oldie, 4.8%, it's the bollocks. It's really tasty, really good. Okay. Right, MJM. I love the film Mice of Men. I can see the character lent in myself. Do you know what? I have seen that film years ago of Mice and Men, and you know I can't remember what it's about. I'm actually going to write that down because I'm going to have a look for that on Streamio tomorrow. I love the film of Mice and Men. Right, I'm looking forward to see. I've got a couple of these movie channels. You know, they're not kind of kosher, if you know what I mean. And I'm waiting for the Elvis. There's a new Elvis movie on about his life. Not one where he comes out singing and dancing. It's about his life with Colonel Parker and all the rest of it. And I can watch it now on one of these cams. It's been done on a cam, but I want to wait for a good quality one. Okay. VVV. Phil LePub made the point today that expats' lifestyles are subsided by 2 weak millionaires as they spend more, which allows the bars to stay open. Would you agree with that? Made the point today that expats' lifestyles are subsidized by 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, people take the piss, right? And I don't, because, right, in case you don't know what a 2 week millionaire is, if you're new to the stream, right, a 2 week millionaire could be like a postman. He's on 300 quid a week, £300 a week. He doesn't make a lot of money, drives a 15-year-old car, lives in an ex-council house or a flat. And what he'll do, he'll squirrel away all year for 50 weeks. He'll put away 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is. And he'll go to Thailand, he'll have £2,000. And for 2 weeks, he splashes the cash, rings a bell, he does everything with the girls. And that's what a 2 week millionaire is. And what Phyllis said is they subsidize the guys who live in Pattaya. And there's two camps on this, because you've got the expats who live there who don't like the 2 week millionaires because they say, oh, it spoils it for us because when you come to the bar, you leave $100 tip. We can't afford to do that, and you're spoiling it for us. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got the girls obviously love them because they're on holiday. They spend their cash and they go back. But Yeah, I would agree that I wouldn't use the word subsidize. I wouldn't say that. But what I would say is 2-week millionaires. And I'm a 2-week millionaire, but for a month. You know, you can be a 2-week millionaire for a week or a month. But I think it's great for the economy in Pattaya, because that's the sort of people they want. Because the guys who live in Pattaya, they're watching their pennies, aren't they? Like I would. Now, if I lived in Pattaya full time, I would find the cheapest place to eat where I enjoy the food. If I drank, I wouldn't be going around all the bars and ringing the bell. And, you know, I might have one night a week like that. But most of the time I'd find a bar that's reasonably priced and I know, and I can go there. And, you know, so yeah, I mean, you know, Pattaya, you need the 2-week millionaires. Okay. Bernie says, hi, Peter. I've been going to Thailand for 25 years. Have never really learned how to deal with difficult, awkward, provoked situations, be they a meter taxi, a date, or a drug disturbing Farang. Any tips? Yeah, Bernie, absolutely. I would say the best way to deal with anything in Thailand, like you've just described, is just smile and walk away, or at least try to walk away. Don't argue. Don't get into a confrontation. That's not why you're in Thailand. You know, this is what I do, right? Now I use Grab, okay? But for an example, I get in a taxi and say, I come out of Soy 4. I'm only going to Cowboy 33. And I'll even say it in Thai to him. I say, should have turned my phone off. I don't know where I'm going, wherever. I'll say, I'll tell him in Thai anyway. And he'll say 100 baht. And I'll say, no, put the meter on. I'll say it once. No, put the meter on. And he'll say, oh, okay, 80. I just open the door and get out. I don't even say no. You know, so in those sort of confrontational examples, I would just say smile, walk away, don't get involved. Shinria, how you doing? Hey, Peter, I'm in, how do you pronounce that? Antalya, Turkey, 30 degrees at midnight. Well, of course, Andrew's just come back. Andrew Hammond has just come back from Turkey. I didn't know you were going, Shin. You used to email me quite a bit. I haven't heard from you for a while, but I'm glad you're having it. Well, you haven't said you're having a good time, but I presume you're having a good time. Snozzlehead 92. Of Mice and Men movie had John Malkovich. He's one of my favorite actors. And Gary Sinise, is it? I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, I like John Malkovich. He one of the best movies. I can't remember the title of it. He was some guy insulted him. You know, they were at a party and he was wearing his dinner jacket and all the rest of it. And he kind of made a snidey remark about this John Malkovich character. And he was kind of some kind of killer hitman, and he made it his life's goal to go after this guy who'd made the snidey remark. And yeah, it was a good movie. Right, David again. Mice and Men, John Malkovich. Don't think it won any Oscars, Peter. Not much good. Well, you know, when you say not much good, it's different strokes for different folks. I've watched films that people have raved about. They've said, have you seen that movie? Oh my God, you've got to watch it. It's a classic. It's brilliant. I've watched it 10 minutes in and I'm thinking, this is, you know, this is rubbish. And I just stopped there because my screen went dark. It was Panic Stations. It's back now. There's other movies that I'll give you an example of a movie. I watched a movie called Hard 8. It's got one of my favorite actors in it. It's about a guy. It's all based around Las Vegas. And it's about a guy, I don't know the name of him, the actor, but he's a great actor. And what it is, he takes his, he's not a kid, he's a young man who he'd killed his father in an altercation over some card game or something. But he takes him to Vegas and he kind of schools him on how to gamble and how to make a better life for himself and all the rest of it. And I thought it was a really good movie, an intense movie. There was the young man in the movie met a hooker in one of the casinos and they had a relationship. It was a Hard 8. I thought it was a brilliant movie. And I told Simon, my friend, I said, you got to watch this movie, Hard 8. And he called me the next day. He said, God, that was so boring. I couldn't watch it. So, you know, if we all like the same movies, the movie industry would have such an easy time. They bring out one movie a year and we just watch it, 12 times over the year, wouldn't? But we're all different. Right, Boohoo. Mice and Men, can I pet the rabbit, George? Yeah, I don't know what you guys are on about because I haven't seen it. Right, apologies if I'm missing your comments because they're coming in quite quick, and I'm like sometimes when I click on them, they jump forward a lot. Some people say, "Oh, you're ignoring." I don't ignore any comments. The Wutong Live. The Japanese and Koreans pay the girls way too much. I hear also guys from Switzerland do also. I don't know about Switzerland, but if you go into Therme Cafe these days, you'll be about as popular as a fart in a spacesuit or a burning orphanage because they just don't want to know. They want the Korean, the Japanese guys. They call them, the Thai girls call them the 3 4s. Okay, 4 inches, 4 minutes, 4,000 baht. Can't argue with that, can you? Damon again. Soy 6/1, Patch 3am. All right, yeah. Dutch Farang again. Sorry, guys, I love you all, but I prefer to keep the drinks for myself than to ring the bell. Yeah, very wise, very wise. You know, when you're in a bar, when you ring the bell, you know, they say you have to buy drinks for the whole bar. You can actually speak to the manager or the mama and say, look, I'm going to ring the bell, but I only want to ring it for the girls on the dance floor. And you can do that. So say there's, I don't know, say it's a busy bar. There's 10 girls on the dance floor, but the bar's full. There could be 40, not that many, 25 guys and another load of girls down there. You can actually say, look, I want to ring the bell. And you ring the bell and they're all, way, you know, but only the girls on stage. I've been sat in a bar several times in Pattaya, wherever, Bangkok, and I paid my bill, just about to stand up and go. And I'm still trying to guess the Thai girl. It's over. It's done and dusted. You know, and I paid my bill and I've gone to the toilet. I've sat down and waiting for my friend. I'm just about to go. And they bring me another whiskey Coke up, which is what I drink, whiskey soda Coke. And I'm like, I pay my bill, I'm going. And they're like, oh no, he ring the bell, you know, he ring the bell. So I think, oh yeah, cheers. Look at him, say, cheers. Drink it. I'm just about to go. Somebody else rings the bell. It's almost like I can't get out of there. Not complaining about free drinks, though. Right, Stephen again. He meant subsidize in bar terms as the expats are not bar. Yeah, okay. Big and looking for lowest price. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do agree with that. Then in that case, you know, when I'm reading these, especially after a couple of whiskeys, sometimes I misread them. Time goes so quick. I said it was 2 hours. Now it's 2:21. Yeah, you're right. You have the 2 week millionaires. They do subsidize because, you know, I think we've watched videos when the pandemic was on and the guys started to go out to the bars again. The guys who live in Pattaya, and everyone said, you know, they can't survive on just the expats. No disrespect to expats, but they're watching their pennies, aren't they? Like I will be when I'm out there. Yours travels. I'm hopefully building to 3 months a year till I hit 50. Young man compared to me. Then once I'm 50, 6 months Thailand, 6 months UK. Well, that was my original plan. I thought, well, I'll carry on doing this little minibus job that I do 2 hours a day because they pay me £1,000 a month, Monday to Friday. I do an hour. I'm back by 9:30, and I'm out from 3 till 4. But I just don't want to do it. I don't need to do it anymore. I'm knocking it on the head. And I thought at the time, well, I'll carry on doing that job. And every time there's school holidays, you know, I drive. They're not disabled. What do you call them? Special needs children. I pick 5 of them up with a lady who looks after them from all around and drop them off at a special needs school and then pick them up in the afternoon. Not because I'm desperate for the money, but it gets me out of the house and the money's handy. But I'm knocking it on the head in 3 weeks because I want to concentrate on this full time now. And what in answer to what you're saying, that's originally my idea. I thought, well, I'll work hard. I'll get myself a little flat here, you know, and then I'll go to Thailand every holiday. But you know, I was there in December. I was sitting on the back of a motorbike, going to the hospital, and I was looking around all these high. I thought, it's, you know, I've got to be living here. I should live here. Why would I want to stay in England? You know, I've made the decision now that I will live full time in Thailand. Right, Afghani. I'll definitely be a 2 week millionaire. Whole point of a holiday is to enjoy yourself without so many worries. Yeah, and absolutely. And anybody who criticizes you for it, just tell them to piss off. It's not their business, is it? I told you before, I was in a bar. I went to a bar in Pattaya. I was sitting in a bar. I had a few drinks and I gave a Connect 4 with one of the girls. I had no intention of anything more than that. And I had a nice time. I was there for about an hour and a half. And at the end of it, I tipped the girl who was playing Connect for me 100 baht. And the waitress, I gave her 100 baht. So we're talking £5. Okay, I'm on a holiday. I tipped £5. Wow. And there was an expat. I knew he was an expat because I'd been either he's told me or I overheard him. And he said to me, guys like you spoil it for guys like me, Danny. And I said, what are you talking about, mate? He said, well, I live here and we tip them 20 baht and you've just tipped 200 baht. And I said to him, I said, listen, you do what you got to do, mate, but don't involve yourself in my business. If I want to leave £5 for 2 people, you know, like 250, it's up to me, you know. When I'm there, I'll be watching my money and I might only tip 20 baht, 50 baht. But if some guy's next to me and he gives 500 baht, it's not my business. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Right, Javier. Sorry to miss it. You haven't missed it, Javier. You haven't missed it. Sorry to miss the Ladyboy competition. But I'm off to. Oh, okay. You're off to bed now. I must work tomorrow early in the evening. Enjoy the week. I'll tell you what. Should we do the lady? Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out the way. But before we do it, Somebody wrote to me and said, you never show any lady boys from America. And I've got one from Texas here. So let me just stick this up, and then we'll do the proper ladyboy competition. That's where everyone disappears. All right. So let's get a Texan ladyboy on Thailand Bound tonight. Okay, I admit it. I know he's not really a ladyboy. He's just having a bit of a laugh in the garden there, wasn't he? Or in the snow. But I thought I'd show you that for fun. Right, okay. Let me make sure I don't put the answers up. Okay, I got the right one. Right, you know the aim of the game now, guys. I'm going to show you 8 pictures. One of them is a lady. Only one. 7 of them are lady boys. What you need to do is put the number down, the one that you think is a lady, okay? I'm double checking again. Yeah, we got the right one. So which number is the lady? How's your radar, guys? Did you get it? Just before I give you just before I read out the answers, let me just say thank you to Brad from Oz. I will have a cold one on you, mate. Thank you very much. Right, who's got a good radar? Let me just put it back on again. I forgot which one is the. Hang on, first lady boy. Let me just have a quick look at it again. 5 seconds. Okay, I've got it. I forgot because I was doing the thank yous there. Right, okay, let's see who's got it and who hasn't got it. Right, so the object of the competition again, I want to know which one is a real lady, not the lady boy, okay? Paul Hoskins, no. Dutch Farang, no. Dayan Ford, well done. Mike M, no. Leeds, no. Matthew Cartwright. Oh, Matthew, you're a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Silver Fox, yes. Barmy Army, have I made it too easy tonight, guys? Yes. Pesky McNuggets, you're just in. Good evening to you, sir. Yeah, you're right. Lewis 89, no. John Paul, no. We don't have a number 9. Rumble, yes. I've made it too easy, haven't I? Joe, no. Only in Thailand, yes. Stephen X, no. Charlie Stewart, right, yes. Baz Wu, yes. Steve, no. Tyrone's Kitchen, yes. Gemini Star, no. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone wife is back in England. Correct. Well done. Mike 8134 says I'm from Texas. We'll try and arrange for that guy to give you a knock on the door tomorrow, okay? Right, Damon, no. Paradise Life, yes. Chris Chase, a lot of right answers now. I think you got it, guys. Chris, yes. John Campbell, yes. John Paul, no. We don't have a number 9. Red Pill Denmark, yes. The One Rob 88, no. Deke the Trucker, well done. Nino, yes. Ting Tong Tai, I watched them the other day, actually. Little Britain, fantastic. Wish I could show it here. Yes, well done. Only in Thailand, yes. James Casey, no. Easy this week. It wasn't because you're wrong, James. Sorry. Lewis, yes. Paul Shackleton, no. Alexander the Great, yes. Clive, no. Andy Baker, yes. John Paul, no. David, you can only have one answer, so I'm not going to answer that one. Luxury Vegan Travel, well done, mate. You got it. Shaggy Rogers, yes. Love the name, by the way. Nick T, yes. You got it as well. Barmy Armour, no. Lots of right answers here. 6 of 9, yeah. You got it. Taxi Talal, yes. Clive, no. Clive, I feel like to fold. If I had your number, mate, I'd call you up and give you the answer because you never get it, do you? Right, Quad Squad, is it? Yeah, you got it. VVV, no. Tyrone's Kitchen, finally. Yeah, you got it. Klaus, yes. Oh, they've jumped again. Where were we? Peter said, I'd say 4. If not, I'm having a surprise in Loom. Okay. Well, if that's your answer, I'd say well done. Clive, no, mate. I feel for you. I feel for you. David M, yes. Clive, I do it. 6-6. All right. Okay. Fair enough. That's no problem with that. Pete Bailey, yes. Mike, 8134, yes. Ivan, oh no, did I miss the competition? No, we're in it now, Ivan. Clive, I'm going to have to bypass you, Clive. They're all right. Vlad the Inhaler, you got it. Well done. Jorma McNichol, no. Mike, 8134. Did I say you already? You got it anyway. A lot of double entries here. Right, Dutch Frank, 6 is obviously answer. We were obviously wrong, Dutch Frank, I'm afraid. Crypto Rocketeer, I can't tell you because you put 2 answers. Angel Scabell, I wish it was right because you gave me a super chat, but no, it's wrong. Luxury Vegan Travel, Peter, I'm 99% blind and got both your competitions correct. I think you need to make it harder. Well done to you, sir, because most people are getting it. Well, 50% are getting it right. James Casey, at last, well done. You're a winner. Chicken dinner. I just rewound. Yeah, I rewound the video. Okay. A lot of people are copying the right. That's it. Very quick. Oh God, I lost it again. Damon sounds fun. Paul Shackleton, Damon, I've still got it wrong. Right, that's it. End of line. Right, let me put it up. It's a lot shorter, only 30, 40 seconds. Did you get it right? How's your radar, guys? Here's the answer. So well done to all you guys who got it right. That was quite an easy one this week, but then somebody left me a comment last week saying it's easy for you to say it's easy because you know who it is, and that is a fair point. Right, somebody's coming late. They missed the Monga Minute. I'll do it again because it's only 30 seconds. This week's Monga Minute. There you go. We'll have another one of those next week. All right. 2.5 hours, still going strong. I'll keep it going for a little. I mean it, guys. It's got to be a little while now because I have got to get up early tomorrow. Let's just see who's what you guys are saying while I'm finishing off this beer. Yeah, Nick T says lots of. I put that up. Lots of double entries. Nice pun. Yeah, I get it as well. Let me change this picture for a while because it's been up there for a long time, hasn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to put this one up because I actually. No, I'll tell you what. Let's put it up there. Pretend we're in Soy 4. Okay. It's like a support group, isn't it, for everybody wanting to go to Thailand? You know, hi, my name's Peter, and I haven't been to Thailand for 6 months. When I go there, I'm hooked. Right. Okay. Nino. I'm a bit disappointed. 8 is a ladyboy. Damn, she's out. I should say he looks. Oh, really? Let me have a look. Because although I made the competition, I can't have a look. I'll only put it up for about 10 seconds. Number 8. Right. Yeah, do you know what? I thought that when I looked for the picture, let me have another look. Yeah, when I look for the pictures, I've got to be really, really careful because I don't want to make any mistakes. I double and triple check them, you know. Especially the lady picture. And when I seen that one, I'll just put it up one more time. Yeah, when I no, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? Hang on. Yeah, I'm putting the Southeast Asia one up instead. Ladyboy one. Hang on, number 8. You said right? Still not the Ladyboy one. That's Southeast Asia. Right, here we go. Yeah, I can see why you were full because it's had. That was a really disrespectful thing to say. That young man or lady has had some enhancements, right? And it would fool you. It really would. And I can understand your comment. Right. Okay. I like it. I like it. Peter has to wake up early tomorrow, go down to the market and sell some dodgy tomatoes with his kid brother Roddy. You are joking, but I actually had a guy in here. I actually ended up blocking him in the end because he came on. He came in quite in a joking way, but he kind of got nasty in the end. And I know when somebody's a real troll because what they always do, they know I've got a wife at the moment, they know I've got 2 daughters, and they'll come in, they'll say something. And I had a guy one time and say, "Oh, you said your daughter's 19 and 24. Are they available for a massage tomorrow?" And somebody who says something like that, they're just trying to get me to bite, aren't they? And I do bite in a way where I'll block them, but I don't get really angry because I know it's just some kind of pathetic loser in a room in patio or something like that, right. But yeah, back to your comment there. But I relate to that. It's quite funny actually. But somebody actually came in and said, "Peter, I'm not being funny, but you remind me of a second-hand car salesman. Have you ever sold cars?" And I don't know whether to take that as an insult or not. Right. Okay. Let's get serious for a minute. Right, Mike. Hey, when are you moving to Pattaya? I was looking at Bangkok, Chiang Mai. Well, I'm not, Mike. I'm not actually moving to Pattaya. I lived in Pattaya for a number of years. I mean, lived there full time, and the town gets smaller and smaller the longer you're there, and it's not really right. Anybody who's living in Pattaya might watch this tomorrow, or they're watching now early morning. They might think I'm being a bit negative, but I'm not. I don't really want to live in a town where 90% of what goes on there is related to the bars and girls. There's a lot more to see in Thailand. I'm not saying I like to walk around temples, but there is a lot more, and I'm definitely not going to be moving to Pattaya. Yeah, I like a bit of bacon myself, Clive, but each to his own. Right, okay. Okay, guys, I think we're there. I think I've done all the comments. Right. We Connect websites. First time watching your live stream. Very entertaining. Well done. Yeah, thanks for that, We Connect. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to knock it on the head, guys, because I keep saying it and I don't want to be repetitive, but I really do have to get up tomorrow. So let's finish with this one again, just to show you how it turned out, the old poll. No, not that one. Where are we? This one. Right. So, I put the poll out. When should I do the stream? That was the results. It looks like Sunday's looking good. So I will do one this Sunday. So if you like the streams, I'll come on Sunday, this Sunday coming at 7:00. Okay. 7:00. But there won't be any Ladyboy competitions. There won't be any Southeast Asian girl competitions. There won't be any joke of the week. There won't be anything. That's a Friday night thing, right? So I'll be back on Sunday at 7 p.m. I will be back 100% on Sunday. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to open the stream and just see what you guys are writing about, what comments you're leaving. We'll talk about it, and that's it. There won't be anything else. And then I'll do Friday again. And don't forget, I don't know if you're into the stories. I start off saying there's 4 stories tomorrow, but there's actually 3, but they're pretty good. Guys, I'm a little bit tipsy now. I shouldn't have been drinking so early, but I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have as well. And like I say, I'll see you Sunday, 7 p.m. And if not, next Friday, stories tomorrow. Have a good weekend, whatever you're doing. And I'll leave you with this. Good night, guys.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ